And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, an item not on the list, John Fetterman. Where's that guy? You know, I'm seeing the picture floating around. I'm seeing two different Fettermans. Who's who? What's happening? Where's he at? We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, we kind of touched on this last time, but Uganda is putting some new laws on the books. Speaking about LGBT, LMNOQ, all this and that, trying to outlaw some of that. People are outraged, but they won't share the same outrage for certain other countries for a particular reason. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. Also, Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, is trying to get Trump thrown under the bus as far as any kind of criminal indictment, but at the same time, he might actually vindicate him because of what his lawyer said some years back. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later as well. Also, Kanye West has, what they say, turned over a new leaf. He has he's changed. He does not necessarily feel the same way he felt before about a particular group. Now, I wonder if he just came to an epiphany on his own, if there's a particular reason why he came to this conclusion, or what's happening with that. But we'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you enjoy what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. We got a whole lot happening today. Also, one thing I didn't mention in the intro was, do you guys want to be on a 3-year-long cruise? Well, you have the opportunity to do that. The opportunity is available if you want to do it. We'll talk about all those things in a little bit. Thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, what else we got going on? Thank you to everybody that has been watching throughout the whole time. If you're a newcomer, welcome, welcome. Enjoy the show. Let's go ahead and get cracking. You know the drill. Shout out to all the sponsors. Of course, shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Their link will be in the description, or just go to the website directly in your browser, your phone, wherever you are. Patriotpost.us right now. They got memes, they got good articles, they got my articles on there, op-eds on there. I have another one coming up this week. That should be a very good one. If you have any tips for news, any tips for articles you want me to write, anything that you want me to expound upon, whether it be written or verbal, please email me on my website. Speaking about my next sponsor, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. If you go to the front page of the website, you'll see all of my videos as articles. So if you ever want to know any context, if you ever want to know, hey, ABO, where'd you get that tidbit of information from? Just go to the website. Everything will be right there for your consumption. Again, that is anthonyblogan.com. That link, of course, will be in the description box. And once you go to the contact page, anthonyblogan.com/contact, there you can find my email address, which is important to send me tips and tricks and whatnot, whatever you want to send me. Don't send me nothing crazy, and don't spam my inbox. I will block you immediately. But anthonyblogan.com/contact. You can find my email address, snail mail address, meaning my P.O. box. You can send me things. If you send me something that could be emailed, hey, man, I may or may not even see it. But also on the contact page, you have all my social media links. I need to put my TikTok on there. I do have a TikTok because I figure I might as well have it before somebody else tries to put my name on there and create an account like it's me, but it's not me. But anyway, my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff, aside from my YouTube page and my YouTube page, are on the contact portion of my website. And as I always say, you guys know, and if you're here a lot, you're here frequently, you might get tired of me saying it, but I got to say it. It's just like when you're doing your advertising and promotion, right? Same thing. I have to say this. If you comment on my YouTube videos and there's a reaction, there's a reply to your comment, and the reply looks like it could be me, and they're asking you some weird things, talking about, hey, do you want to know more about cryptocurrency? Do you want to know about this and that? And, some kind of get rich quick scheme, some kind of random thing. That's not me. Do not respond. I'm never going to ask you for money. I'm never going to ask you to text me on some random sketchy WhatsApp. I'm never going to do that. Okay. If you respond to them, you're speaking to somebody over in Edo State, Nigeria. They're talking to a guy in Edo State. He's trying to scam you, huh? Do not get scammed by these guys on the internet, huh? You must be smarter than that. Use your brain for more than a hot rock. Use your brain. Do not get scammed in 2023. Please don't get scammed. Don't reply to these guys pretending to be me. I'm not going to be texting you. I'm just not going to do it. So don't do that, all right? It's 2023. I want you to be safe in more ways than one. I want you to be safe with your Second Amendment. Have that pistol, shotgun, rifle, or all of the above right next to your bedside, ready for an intruder. Also, be prepared when it comes to these online scams. I've heard some crazy horror stories, people getting their accounts drained, all their life savings gone, blink of an eye type situation. So don't do that. I'm never going to ask you for anything. If you send them money, it's gone. I don't have it. There's nothing I can do. So again, please be vigilant. Do not get scammed by a Nigerian prince. We don't have time for that. That's going to be embarrassing when you go to the family reunion and you're talking about how you got scammed. They're going to ask you some questions. And then if it's me, I'm crazy. I'm going to ask all the questions. I'm going to be like, hey, did they sound like this? Did they sound like this? I'm going to ask that right in front of everybody. So don't get embarrassed like that. I'm playing, but I'm kind of halfway not playing. Anyway, if you have any concern about who you're speaking with, just go to my contact page. You can see all my information right there. If you're speaking to somebody and their info does not match that info, it's not me. They also do the same thing on Instagram. There's an Instagram account floating around with like 11,000 subs that's impersonating me. And the Instagram name has like some underscores or some periods, dots, or whatever, ellipses. That's not me. I don't have any of that jazz in my name. Matter of fact, if you go to my Instagram page, there's a video on the highlighted section that'll tell you that you're on the right page, and it'll have my name right on it. So you can't get it messed up at all. So thank y'all again for being here. Hey, I'm going to do my Nigerian accents. I'm going to do it all the time. You cannot tell me to not do my Nigerian accent. Huh? I am Nigerian. I'm from Edo State. I just appear to be an American, but I am really Nigerian. This is just a costume. This is a mask. I'm not an American. I'm a Nigerian. So now I'm going to always do my Nigerian accent. And shit, I might pull out a Scottish accent next. I might be Conor McGregor next time you see me. I'm going to work on that one. That's not really all the way refined yet, but I'm going to be Conor McGregor. I'm going to be Jackie Chan. I'm going to be all these guys. I'm going to have a wide range of accents. But the Nigerian one is my favorite one. Shout out to all the Nigerians. Great people. All the like recent immigrants that are conservative are some of the best people. Absolutely. When they come over here and they really appreciate America, I mean, it warms your heart. Like I asked one Nigerian immigrant I met, and if you're watching this, shout out to you. You made a lasting impression on me. But I asked him, where is he from? And he said, oh, I'm from X, Y, and Z place in America. You see what I'm saying? Like, he not even thinking about Nigeria. He's like, nah, I'm an American. You see what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking he would say, oh, I'm Nigerian. I'm from here. I'm from there. Nah, I'm from this place. I'm from this city right here in America. Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from right here in this city, huh? I'm from New York City. Can't you tell by my accent? I'm from New York. I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, that's how they be, because they're proud to be an American. So shout out to all the people that come here and recognize what this country has to offer and do not take it for granted. Right on. All over the place. Somebody says I'm famous. Me famous? I'm just ABL. I just try to do my thing. I stay low key. I try to be low key, but I'm too big. I'm too tall. So I stand out, but I try to be big. I try to be not big. I try to be low key and incognito. I might do the Shaq one a little bit later. Hey, you know what? I might do my Ugandan accent once we get to that particular story because that's a pretty important one. He knows they way. I remember that meme. That was the most random meme ever from many years ago. A lot of you guys probably were still little kids when that meme came out. But anyway, yeah, shout out to the Cubans. I met quite a few Cubans in Miami. The times I was there, I've been to Miami a few times. And whenever I go to Miami, the Cubans, it don't matter where I meet them at. I can meet them at a political event. They could be driving the Uber. They can be doing whatever they're doing. Okay, they could be on stage talking, giving a speech. Like, they are pretty patriotic. The ones I've met, I can't speak for everybody, of course. But in the kind of environments that I'm in, I come across a lot of patriotic Cubans, Dominicans as well. Shout out, and Haitians. It just depends on where you are, what kind of people you're going to come across. You know, you can't really say that one group does this and they do. It's all about what kind of space you're in. Okay, if I'm just in a regular hood somewhere, obviously you're not necessarily going to find a bunch of people that are patriotic. You know, you're going to find some, but it's not going to be as many as if I was in a political event. All right. But we got quite a few things to get to. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Is it cold out there in Virginia? That's unfortunate. I think you probably get some of our heat pretty soon. It was cold here a few days ago, but now it's hot. Okay, in my house right now, it's about 80 degrees. I need to turn my AC on. But just the other day, I had on my heat. So it's confusing. Do I turn the AC on right now? Do I turn the heat on? What's happening? Are we going to have an early spring or early summer? Because usually, by the time it gets to be May, it's hot. May 1st, it's 80 degrees, and it doesn't go down. It only goes up, and it doesn't even go below 80 until November. But in April, it could be 50 degrees or 80 degrees. It could be whatever. It's inconsistent. Have I seen John Wick 4? No, I've not seen John Wick 4, but I definitely want to see it. I've seen all the other ones. Those are some of my favorite movies. The John Wick series, I love the whole thing. Absolutely. Keanu Reeves, and it's not even necessarily about, being a good dramatic actor. I mean, Keanu Reeves obviously is a good actor, one of the best of our lifetime, from being Neo in The Matrix and Constantine and Devil's Advocate. He's played quite a few good roles, even going all the way back to when I was a little boy with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He was all the way back then doing an amazing job as an actor. But beyond that, the John Wick series is just good because it's a lot of action. And I like how they focus on different types of guns, and the guns are very realistic. Shout out to the armorer on the set of John Wick. Whoever is an armorer on John Wick could do a little bit of moonlighting and get Alec Baldwin together, because good grief, that armorer over there, I mean, they could never, the John Wick armorer would never do what they did over on Rust with Baldwin. What was it? Was it Alec Baldwin, Stephen Baldwin? Baldwin the Hills, I don't care what the guy's name is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The guy who shot the lady on set, pointing the gun with live rounds. These morons had live rounds in the guns, shooting cans on the set, and put them same guns right back on the tray, right back in the cart, and they put it in the actor's hand and say, "Yeah, go ahead and shoot that. You good?" What? It's crazy. It's totally crazy. All right. So yeah, but John Wick, always a good time. A lot of action. And it started kind of simple. Oh, and RIP to my man Lance Reddick. Lance Reddick, obviously, he was an actor. He played the concierge, if I'm not mistaken, on John Wick. So when John would go back to the hotel, and it was the tall, slender black guy right there waiting for him, that was Lance Reddick. He was also in other movies, and TV shows. He was on The Wire. He was also in video games. He was in Horizon Zero Dawn, both games, which are very good games, and also Halo. He's on Halo as one of the NPCs. So yeah, shout out to Lance Reddick. He will be missed. They might not do any more John Wicks. I mean, we're on number 4. How many can you do? You're going to do 10 John Wicks? I don't know. This might be the last one, but we'll see. And you know what? Sometimes sometimes when somebody dies, it's not because of the bug or the jab. Sometimes they might just pass away. He was 60 years old. I mean, you can die, especially with black men. That's been kind of a common theme. Unfortunately, Kevin Samuels was like 57, 58, not quite 60. My dad was 61. Alan Roger Curry, another black YouTuber, was right around that same age, 58, 59. David Carroll, another one, right around the same age. That's becoming very common for a lot of black males to die right around that age. Hypertension, like high blood pressure, a lot of other things. But it may not necessarily be the jab. Could it be? Of course. But I don't want to go down the road of saying, oh, it was a jab, because that's almost the equivalent. Like, I can't say that every time. That's almost the equivalent of somebody saying, hey, you know what? They died in a motorcycle accident and the head fell off of the bike, but they had C19, so they died at C19. It's like, well, maybe the accident and their head coming off and rolling down the street, rolling down Virginia Beach Boulevard at 100 miles an hour, maybe that did it rather than the C19 that was in their system, perhaps, just maybe. But I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So we got a whole lot going on. And where am I going to start? I don't want to start with Uganda first. Can we start with the 3-year-long cruise? That's kind of a light topic. So there's a cruise they're offering that will allow you to be on the boat for 3 years straight. Now, here's a question. Okay, and before I ask the question, I'm gonna just say what you can do. Matter of fact, actually, let me go ahead and just play the news clip where they're explaining what's going on with the 3-year cruise. Now, of course, I'm going to ask you guys, would you get on it? Would you be interested? But I want you guys to see this video, if you have not seen it yet, from my video, to make your mind up. I know what I'm going to do, but I want to see what you guys think. Let's go ahead and check some of this out. If you've not seen it already, let's put it on the screen. All right, if you got some sound, that might help. How about that? Let's get some sound there, boss.
3 years at sea, spanning the globe. And it might sound like a bit much for some, but cabins are actually booking up.
This morning, an inside look at a voyage on the high seas like we've never seen before, as more and more passengers sign up for the world's first 3-year cruise ship around the globe.
People, places, and things. I am excited to experience
375 destinations with stops in 135 countries across all 7 continents. The Life at Sea ship setting sail from Istanbul, November, picking up passengers in Barcelona and Miami. The ship can hold just over 1,000 passengers, more than half the cabins already booked since the itinerary was announced earlier this month. Meredith Shea, a retired flight attendant, booked one of the biggest rooms on the ship. She's hoping for the experience of a lifetime.
This is going to be the perfect place to do it all.
Here's what a typical stateroom will look like. Right now, it costs $33,000 per year, which includes food, some drinks, entertainment, and a fitness center. And this 3-year tour is not just for retirees. The ship is wired for professionals working remotely, with meeting rooms, offices, a library, and Wi-Fi.
We're looking at half the ship is under 60. And that was a huge surprise to me. And now the people are getting younger and younger with each day. We're getting more and more people in their 20s with each day.
So how do you feel about that? You want to go on the 3-year cruise, go all around the world? So they said they're going to go all around the world, 135 countries. Now, that's pretty impressive to go to 135 countries and all 7 continents, because there's only 190 countries thereabout, depending upon if you count stuff like Palestine or what's another one? If you count Taiwan, you understand what I'm saying? There's certain countries that are kind of on the fringe. Kosovo, if you count these places, but right around 190 countries, maybe 193 countries, and you visit 135, that's pretty impressive. But would you want to be on the cruise ship for that long? Now check it out. That's a big commitment. It costs, what they say, about $33,000, but that's not actually that much money for your total living expenses, because if that's going to include food and your room, how much are you paying for your mortgage every month? I mean, not even including what you put for down payment and repairs or whatever. Obviously, if you're going to be on the boat, you're not going to be paying for no repairs, or you're not getting pest control and whatnot, trash removal. You're doing all of that through the ship and what you paid, the $33,000. But just mortgage, just say you pay $2,000 a month in mortgage, that's $24,000 a year right there. And you've not eaten yet, you've not driven your car yet, you've not done too much of anything, paid for gas. So it's actually not that bad when it comes to money, but you got to have some type of income that will allow you to be on the boat. However, with 1,000 people for 3 years from all over the world, I don't even like roommates. Okay, I've never even done roommates before. You know what I'm saying? I've never even done a roommate. So to be on the boat with that many people for that long from all over the world, that's going to be a culture clash. And I'm wondering about safety. I'm wondering about, are you going to vet these people? Because security, what's going to happen with security? They're not talking about some of the most important things. What kind of food are they going to have? What kind of entertainment are they going to have? You're stopping at certain places, but where are you going to be stopping? What are you going to be doing? What does your day consist of? What is all the ages? They said at first it was kind of a senior citizen, like a old folks home on the water. But then they said people in their 20s are going to be there. So if you get people in their 20s and people in their 70s and 80s on there together, how's that going to work? You're going to have Paw down the street from his grandson on the same boat. Yeah, it's going to be a mess. But hey, I think it would be cool for some people to try. I'm not really sure about the whole 3-year commitment though, because at a certain point, if I'm on the boat and things ain't going the way I want to get off that boat. All right. I want to get off. And for me personally, I'm not a fan of resorts or cruise ships. I feel like I'm caged up. You see me, I'm a little bit different than most people, than some people. I got my own way of doing things. I guess everybody's different. But if it's me and I'm traveling somewhere and I'm going on a vacation, I want to be right in the city center. For instance, I've been to Miami. I've been to a resort in Miami, and I've been to like the city, like Brickell, downtown. I prefer to be right there, Brickell, downtown, because I want to walk around. I want to go to the malls. I want to go to the restaurants. I want to go to the museums. I want to go explore. If I got a car, I'm driving around. I want to see the sights. I want to go visit the tourist attractions and some of the the beaten path type spots. I want to do all that stuff. I want to feel free because I'm on vacation. I'm not at the crib. But on the resort, it's like you kind of feel like you're trapped on the resort. And all I wanted to do was just leave it. It's like they say you get a bunch of entertainment right here in the resort, but truthfully, I'd rather would not be here. I'd rather would just be in my hotel and I can just walk outside without having to go through a gate and all that kind of stuff. You know, I feel like I'm in the penitentiary. So that's just not my thing. Yeah, you get off the ship, I understand, but when you are, I can't just walk out of my room and do whatever I want. I have to wait to the next destination. Yeah, I might get on it for a while. I'm not really sure about 3 years. If I'm in a spot, if I'm in a location, I want to get up and go immediately. Immediately. I don't want to wait at all. Backup says Somali pirates gonna hit a lick. Hilarious. But yeah, I want to get up I want to get out of my room right away, instantly. As soon as I get up and I'm ready to go, I want to be out right away. Yeah, so I never saw the whole allure of going to Cancun or like even like Jamaica somewhere, some Caribbean island where you got to go to a resort. It's like, okay, let me go to the island. Let me go to the resort. Let me go to the island, but not on the resort. I want to be right there in the city. Now, if the city's too dangerous, then maybe I shouldn't be there. I'd rather go to Miami and be in the city versus somewhere in the Caribbean and I got to be on the resort. But I digress. I mean, I've been to resorts. I've been all over the place. It's just not my cup of tea. Yeah, it's just, it just ain't really for me. But it's not for everybody. Some people really enjoy resorts, but I don't. Exactly, Unit J. It's not for everybody. And I agree with that. Some of you guys may love this whole thing with the cruise ship, and other guys may not. But it's available if you want to book it. As far as I know, I think they still kind of halfway full up. 33 bands. If you have a remote work job, you could be anywhere in the world. I say go ahead and go for it if that's what you're into. Yeah, for sure. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot happening. And for you guys that are in the storm's path, hopefully you guys are safe. Or pardon me, were in the storm's path, not anything coming up, but there was a storm last night. And I think, what was that, Friday? Well, Friday night, last night. There was some storms in the South, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, maybe some of Georgia. Mississippi especially, that's becoming a new tornado alley. I remember back in April of 2020, a tornado hit my neighborhood, like legitimately hit my neighborhood. I remember, I'll never forget it. I was about 11 o'clock. I was in my other house I had in Chattanooga. We had this small, I was renting a small house, but it was 2 floors. It was a 2-bed, 3-bath, but it was small for a house. It's like maybe like 1,400 square foot with 3 beds and 2 baths. But anyway, I'm upstairs in my studio office or whatever, and I'm editing, I'm doing something. And you know how they say that when you hear a tornado, you hear the train. It's like a train going quickly. So I heard the train noise. I knew right away what it was. I knew right away it was a tornado. So I get down to the lower level of the house, make sure everybody's good, people that were in the house. And it went by. Now, it hit the neighborhood, but luckily the house was not damaged really. All that happened was it was just some some branches that had leaned on the house. All they did was just lean up against the gutter. So the gutter was kind of bent a little bit, like right there from the branches. But that was actually all that happened. But the neighborhood was a mess. Hold on, let me fix my chat over here. I think my chat is frozen. If you guys can still hear me, let me know in the chat. Hopefully I'm good. Hopefully I'm not being frozen. But anyway, so after the tornado hit, I go outside, check the damage. It was just the tree branches. It wasn't really anything else going on. It was all good for the most part. And the neighborhood was messed up though. It was trees everywhere else, all on the road, blocking the road. My next door neighbors, my next door neighbors, a tree fell. It fell backward. The tree was big. I'm talking, I can't really, the base of the tree had to have been about 5 foot wide. About a 5 foot, it was really big. And it was like the only tree they had in their front yard. You could tell it was an old tree. If the tree would have fallen this way, it would have fell on the house and flattened it. But luckily the tree fell toward the street rather than toward the house. And that saved them. But what it did was it fell on the power lines. So the power lines got smushed down. So my neighbors next to them, they couldn't get out their actual garage because the power lines blocked their garage. Now they could get out of the house because their garage is on the side of the house. They had a corner house. So think about it like this, right? Or better yet, like this. The garage was like right here, where my fingers are, right there. But the entrance was right there on the other side. So this side of the house was facing like the main road that I lived on. But this side of the house was facing like a little neighborhood road. So they could walk out this way, but they couldn't drive out. So they were pretty much stuck until somebody came and got them. Now, at the time I had my RAV4, and getting out of that neighborhood was a mess. One road was blocked. One road was a lake. The other road was semi-blocked. and they kind of cleared it a little bit after about 3 days. It was no food. Well, it was some food, but no water. It was a mess. But anyway, some more tornadoes hit last night. And like I said, the tornadoes hit my neighborhood in April of 2020, which is right around this same time. We'll be in April here pretty soon. So I guess this time of the year is tornado season. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, we've become the new tornado alley to a certain extent, unfortunately. Every single year, they're talking about the same thing, tornadoes hitting. So there were some tornadoes that hit a particular place in Mississippi. I have some video of the damage. There's been quite a few fatalities. I'm going to play some of this. It's kind of heavy, so I won't play too much of it right here. Shout out to the Hodge twins for reposting this video right here. It doesn't have any sound on it, but you're able to see. This is Rolling Fork, Mississippi. This is toward the northern and central part of the state. So not far really from me. You know, it's kind of like almost like it's like a straight line if you go south and west. But not too much south and west. Mostly west, but like west-southwest. This is where this town is. So, I mean, these tornadoes are crazy. They said it was the EF4, but they might upgrade that because look at the devastation. And some parts of where I live look like that. And really, although it's been almost 3 years, there's still some parts of the city where you see houses that are damaged. You see the trees. Oh, the trees look crazy. In some parts of the city, the trees look like you're in a video game because they haven't been torn down or anything, or you know, they haven't been removed. They're still just kind of up there with broken limbs and everything else. A lot of the land has been cleared, but a lot of it hasn't been. So yeah, there's quite a few fatalities from this, and I just hope and pray that everybody else is okay. And if you lost your home, if you were affected by this, hopefully you'll be able to recover. So yeah, that's Rolling Fork, Mississippi. That is a new tornado alley. Mississippi, Alabama, that particular area. You know, typically you hear about Oklahoma, you know, the Plains region, Midwest, but that's changed. And my question is, why has that changed? Some are going to say climate change, but I mean, what's climate change got to do with it? Climate always changes. Things change. If the sun gets a smidgen hotter, that can change the entire world. If the moon has a wobble, if the moon changes just by a little bit, by that much, it could change everything. High tide and all that good stuff. Yeah, the tornado was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. All right. Let me see. Here's another video right here. This is a weatherman out there in Mississippi talking about the situation. And you can see on the screen, you see that little piece right there? They called out a hook echo. You could tell at that moment when you have that going on, it's a tornado because you got a convergence, like a swirling effect. That is a telltale sign of a tornado. So if you ever have a storm or something and you see that on the screen, by that time, you'll know it's a tornado. They'll give you a tornado warning. But that hook echo right there, that's all bad.
Radar error here. That's a huge radar error on that. But that still shows likely a strong tornado here just east of Amory. How far to Amory are we talking about? Let's get a storm track that has everything I could put on it for a moment. And then I'm going to move that down just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to move it to the middle. I'm going to try to cram as much stuff on here as I can for a moment because I want to keep Amory City Grid on this. And again, assuming we're moving 65 miles per hour, I would say the western few streets in Amory were now less than 2 minutes away.
So this was last night, in case you're wondering, last night, early this morning. So this is not happening right now. This is last night, early this morning. This is before that tornado hit. When I just showed you the damage, this is right before it hit. So he's telling people to seek shelter, be safe.
This is a strong, life-threatening tornado that's going to move either extremely close to Amory or in through the northern part of the city of Amory. And here's the thing about this. Y'all trust me too much, okay? I tell you where it goes, and some of you are like, that's where it's going to go. But the reality is that this could be changing directions, okay? So Amory, we need to be in our tornado safe place. We got a new scan coming in here as we speak. Oh, man. Like, north side of Amory, this is coming in. Oh, man. Dear Jesus, please help them. Amen. Okay. So, he's going to track along Highway 25. Unfortunately.
See right here, he's seeing the debris field. See that right there? He's seeing the debris field. So he's seeing a tornado. Like, it's as big as the whole city. Like, that right there, that's the whole tornado. See this blue part? That's the whole thing. And you see the city, the size of it, the scale. It's like the same size. So there's no real escaping it. All you can really do is try to seek for cover, try to hide, try to do something, try to get up under some kind of sturdy object. That's all you can really do. And people were saying, well, why don't they have hurricane-proof buildings? Why don't they have all this and that? Well, this is not really an area that has historically had tornado problems. This is not Oklahoma or somewhere like that where they know it'll be tornadoes, where they're going to have basements and certain kind of structures built for it. It's not really that way in Mississippi. Yeah, so it was pretty bad. You know, when you see something like that going on, you got to make sure you take heed. And if you got any kind of weather problems, you got to take them seriously. You know, when you're hearing the sirens, when you're hearing the noises, when you're hearing the train sound, I was taught that from a young age too. Like, I remember being at the bus stop as a little boy. I'll never forget. I had to probably been about 8 years old, maybe. I was at a babysitter bus stop. Like, I would go there in the morning from before I went to school, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, something like that. And the babysitter was like, if you look in the sky and you see it gets real dark for no reason, and the clouds look weird, it could be a tornado. So I always had that kind of, that thought in my mind to be aware of the weather. Yeah, there's no real tornado-proof structure. That's right, Duke Raul. Yeah, I mean, if you got a basement, a shelter, something like that, I guess that can help you. It's better than having a slab foundation or something like that. But ultimately, if you got a bad tornado, it can be rough. Polka Dot Suzanne says she has a tornado shelter in your home in Nashville. Very smart. Very smart. And that, what I just showed you, was Mississippi. That was Armory, Mississippi. And the storms went through Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, maybe even parts of Georgia. I think by the time it got far east to Georgia, Tennessee, it was already, it kind of dissipated. It kind of dissipated a little bit. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Burko says, I'm from Kansas, live in the South now, but their sky will still turn greenish color. Scary. Yeah. Sometimes there's no real escaping it. Certain parts of the country, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, some of the upper part, even like some of the western part, it's going to be tornadoes. It could have, that's a possibility. But I feel like that has kind of expanded now to Mississippi. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Yeah, now if you're over in Florida, you have the hurricane warnings, and they have hurricane, I won't say hurricane proof, but their buildings are more likely to sustain hurricane force winds. Especially down Miami, somewhere like that. There's no way you could build any structure in Miami without it being hurricane resistant and or hurricane proof. Definitely hurricane resistant. Them skyscrapers and whatnot, they got to be able to withstand a lot of wind. The windows, all that kind of stuff. You can't just have them be like, shatter magnets. They got to be able to really withstand some pressure. Also with water. I saw one picture, I believe it was in Florida, and it was a flood, and the windows were so strong that the water was kept out, and it was impressive because the water was so high. Let me see if I can find that video, not that video, pardon me, the picture right quick. I probably can't find it, but we're going to try anyway. And if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. Please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. Oh, look at that. Found it right away. Look at that. You can see the palm trees and everything. Look, see, stuff like that you're going to have in the South. Now, There might be a little bit of water in the house, maybe potentially, but I'm not quite sure. And if there is any water in the house, it's nothing compared to the outside. You have a whole lake outside. You have a whole lake literally outside the windows, but the windows have not broken. I don't see this massive calamity happening. I don't know if they got that flex tape. Have you guys seen that new flex tape they're promoting on television where it's designed to prevent flood, water, and things of that nature? Not only is this impressive because it's not leaking through or pouring through, it's also not shattering the glass because that is a lot of pressure on the glass. All that water is very heavy, very heavy. So for the glass to not break and just sustain itself like that is tough. See, that is a kind of code in Miami you're going to be dealing with. But if you're living in Podunkville, USA, and it's not really a flood plain or a flood risk area, you're not going to have this kind of stuff going on. Why would they build that in your home? There's no reason. All right, there is no reason at all. Exactly, man. It's like being at the aquarium, right? It's crazy. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, Rex, the window's got to be really tough because the pressure is not breaking it. That water is super heavy. That's a lot of pressure up against that glass. Yeah, that Flex Seal. Hey, if they got Flex Seal on it, the Flex Seal is most certainly doing the job. I tell you what. Oh, if you're hitting that with a hammer, look, Paul Pelosi's attacker could never. That David DePappy could never. If they had that in California, David DePappy would never get anywhere close to Paul. Not at all. Hit your wife will open it. Hilarious. All right. I ain't going to tell you said that. So that's between me and you. All right. Yeah, but Florida got other problems. They got snakes and spiders and alligators and everything else. I'm cool. Well, not so much spiders. That's spiders are everywhere. We got spiders here in Tennessee. I've seen black widows. I've seen wolf spiders. I've not seen the brown recluse yet, thank goodness. That's more of a natural thing, but I have seen the black widow or two right in front of I saw a black widow right in front of my garage, like on my garage. I'm like, you know what? I ain't even going to do nothing. I'm going to just let you be over there. I see that red hourglass up under your belly. I'm not going to touch you. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. All right. But if you like what you're hearing, so you know what the drill is, hit that like button for me. And we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. Now, I got a clip for you guys. This lady got fired. Now, I think it's kind of a weird situation. That's probably the best way to say this. So this lady got fired for saying, for shizzle my nizzle. All right. Now, let's hear her say this, and then let's talk about it a little bit. You know, it's going to be kind of sensitive. Before I play it, I want to say this. If she outright said the N-word, now we got a problem because you know that's off limits. But for shizzle my nizzle, I feel like I've heard that said, and it was just kind of random. It wasn't really meant to be trying to say the N-word. It's like it's kind of like common speech at this point. But let's play it.
Come up with.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle, my nizzle.
So, okay, let's play that one more time because you might have missed it. There's context here because the guy mentioned Snoop Dogg and she quoted some Snoop Dogg lyrics.
Come up with.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Before we know it, she'd have a Snoop Dogg tattoo on her shoulder.
For shizzle, my nizzle.
I'm telling you. Julie, what you think about that? Huh, she says.
Now it got awkward. Now it got real awkward. I'm not sure if this guy right here is black or what's going on, but it got real awkward.
Well, get this.
Look at his face. Real awkward, real quick. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, if you mention Snoop Dogg, that might pop into your mind. Are you saying the N-word at that point? I'm not really sure. But to get fired, I don't know if that was really appropriate. I think maybe the apology would have been appropriate, saying, hey, you know what? I didn't mean anything by that. I was just, a popular rapper. I like Snoop. I've been to the Up in Smoke tour back in my day, back when I was about 35 years old in the 1990s. I was at the Snoop Dogg tour. I went backstage. He had all kind of weed back there. I was just having a good time, right? You could apologize and say something like that, and then they'd be fine. But hey, you know what? Yeah, it got her fired. Hey, I didn't see anything wrong. Blame Snoop, not cancel worthy. Like I said, if she would have hit the N-word on him, like the actual N-word, even with the GA, all that, it's still the same word. But a Snoop Dogg lyric that wasn't actually the N-word in context, I don't really, you know what I mean? I don't think that was really appropriate to get her fired, but it is what it is. All right. Probably so, because, you know, I heard somebody says boss is looking for a reason to fire her. Probably so, because I've heard that there were some other things that she had said in the past, allegedly, that were kind of weird, kind of iffy, and she had been there for a long time. And again, Mississippi, this is where we at. People are going to look at clips like this and think that it's a racist place to live, and you know, Mississippi is actually more diverse than a place like Illinois. Mississippi has more black folks population percentage wise than places like California, obviously, places like Illinois, New York State. It's more diverse when you're talking about black versus white than most of these northern states that say that they're so liberal and progressive. It's weird how that works, but whatever. All right. Keena says, what does nizzle mean? Well, we know what it means, but that's not what she said. It's a lot of things that mean certain things that we say that aren't meant to actually be that. You know, English is a funny language. If you say, because I hear a lot of people say ninja, you know, what's up, my ninja? I don't say stuff like that. It's kind of corny to me, but I'm not everybody. I'm not the language police, really. You know what I mean? So people say stuff like that. Now, obviously, ninja does not mean what we're saying. That it doesn't. You're not actually out there jumping from the top of your dojo with a blade chopping somebody's head off. You're not actually a ninja. So we're using certain words that don't mean what they actually mean. In context, you understand kind of what's being said, but you're not trying to be offensive. I don't know. Yeah. I think that it's universally accepted that if you hit the N-word at somebody, it's going to be insulting. People could take offense to that, just like, and people could say that it's not. And it depends on the context. But to be safe, how about just don't say it? Just like if you and your wife are out, if let's say you're a man and you're married to a woman, y'all are out somewhere, and then some dude hits with the B word. Hey, what's up, B? Something like that. And then the husband's like, hey, what you call my wife? He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean nothing by it, man. I was just saying it because I know girls always say, what's up, B? Look good, B, all this and that. So why can't I say it to your wife? Obviously, context matters, situation matters, and to be on the safe side, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I have a policy on my show, no cursing, no racial slurs, no cursing. So then you don't got to worry about, oh, can I say it? Can I not say it? Just don't do it. And everybody's fine. Keep your language PG-13 at best. PG-13 at best. Maybe even go to PG. That's what I do. I don't curse at people. I don't use racial slurs. I don't do any of that. So nobody can tell me, oh, well, I cursed in your presence because you do it. I said the N-word because you do it. Nope. I don't do none of that. I am Mr. Rogers. I don't even, in my regular life, people know I don't even really curse. All right. But hey, like I said, an apology would have been enough. Hey, you know what? She was in the Up in Smoke tour back in the day. She was on a Hard Knock Life tour in 1998 with DMX backstage, you know, having a good old time. And then she had a flashback and said, for shizzle my nizzle from a Snoop Dogg song from 25 years ago. That's what happened. I was not trying to be insulting to anybody of a different race. That's what should have been the situation. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. And what else we got going on here? We got quite a few things on deck. Quite a few things. And let's go ahead and get into it. Let me see. Michael Cohen, can we get into that? Hold on. Matter of fact, before we get into Michael Cohen, how about Kanye? Now, Kanye West, Kanye West, hold on. Somebody says, Randy says, all racial slur not okay, including blame the white man. Is that a racial slur, white man? Is that a racial slur, really? Are we going to say that? Like, be for real. Be serious. Like, stop playing games. Anyway, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted from that joke or whatever that was. Shout out to you if you were just joking. But Kanye West has now, speaking about racial slurs and things of that nature, Kanye has turned over a new leaf. He no longer wants to be he no longer wants to be quote unquote anti-Semitic. And you know what? I don't think he would never really. I think Kanye was just going through something, and how can I say? I think he was just going through something and didn't really know who to listen to, because I could tell that he was listening to people and just parroting whatever they said. I could hear certain talking points that I've already heard before, verbatim, like on podcasts and things of that nature. But anyway, remember Kanye West was going on this whole big press run, and he was everywhere, anywhere that would have him, any platform that would have him, he was talking about the same exact thing. Oh, the Jays run the world. The Jays did this. The Jays did that. All kind of stuff, right? And then, of course, he's being accused of being anti-Semitic. He's being racist. He hates Jews, all this and that and the third. But after a while of doing this, he kind of just went away. Like, this whole thing probably stopped back in December of last year. And you've not really seen Kanye West since. You've not really seen him since. And it's like, where'd he go? Now, first of all, rumor has it he got married to some lady. I don't know if that's true or false, but I heard that he got married to some random lady. Not Kim Kardashian, obviously. Some random other young person. And, but then I also was thinking that the whole thing about him going on the old press run about the Jews and whatnot, it was just him going through a phase, and he stopped doing it, and he has stopped doing it. So he was watching 21 Jump Street from 2012. Now, I suppose 21 Jump Street is older than that. I've not seen the original. If you guys have, let me know about that in the comments. But he said on Instagram, and he only has one post on IG, by the way. I'm not sure if he deleted everything or if he was just recently reinstated, if he has a brand new IG or whatever. But the one Instagram post is about that movie 21 Jump Street from 2012 with Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum. Now, Jonah Hill obviously is Jewish, and in the movie he played a Jewish cop that went undercover at a school, a high school or something like that. Yeah, I guess that's what it was. I've never seen 21 Jump Street, the OG or this one. But anyway, so matter of fact, let me pull up the actual movie or the post that I'm referencing. All right, so here it is. That's the actual post. You see the movie cover. Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum, 21 Jump Street. You got them on the front cover wearing these ridiculous looking white and black prom suits with tennis shoes on and pistols. And then the subhead, the little script down here says the only thing, I ain't gonna read that one. That's a little bit too racy, a little bit too non-PG-13. But anyway, you just cover that on up. But he posted a picture, the movie cover, and then he has a caption that he wrote. He says, watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people again. No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred toward millions of innocent people. No Christian can be labeled anti-Semite knowing Jesus is Jew. Thank you, Jonah Hill. I love you. All right. So he has apologized basically to the Jewish community, said, you know what? I'm sorry. I was talking about people in my life that did me wrong, and I'll link that to everything. So the whole campaign that he was going on just kind of went away. And I figured he would do something like that because that's what Kanye does. Kanye is a smart person, but he's also all over the place. He's scatterbrained. He'll just do certain things just to do it. And then in a moment's notice, he'll stop doing it. That's what Kanye does. So he did that. Now, here's a question I have for you guys. Oh, was it a TV show? No 72? Okay, I had no idea. So here's my question. Do you guys think that he did this because he was really having a moment of clarity? He's really apologetic and he wanted to just come out and express himself. Do you think Jonah Hill really moved his heart to think differently and is Oscar-worthy 21 Jump Street performance? Or do you think there's something else going on? Or do you think that he simply wanted to get back in the good graces of some people? Because remember, he lost a lot of money, a lot of deals as a result of this. The most lucrative deal was with Adidas. Before this whole campaign he was on, talking about the Jays this, the Jays that, he was worth over $1 billion. But after the whole thing, he lost like almost $1 billion in worth. He went from being like worth 1.2, 1.3, something like that to like 400 million or less. Those might not be exact numbers, but it was over $1 billion and then it went to below 500 million. Okay. So you're talking about maybe half of his net worth he lost because of this. So is he trying to get back in the good graces of some people? Mental illness, I mean, that's possibly mentally unstable. That's possibly it too. Is he mentally unstable or is he just making the business move? Because at a certain point, it's like, how mentally unstable can you be? How mentally just not wrapped too tight can you be to amass $1 billion in net worth? I'm not sure, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you can tell me that he has mental problems. You can say that he's not all the way wrapped too tight, but I'm seeing the numbers and the numbers don't really add up. The math ain't mathing, as a cool kid say. Mentally ill, but you got $1 billion in net worth. How does that really work? I don't really know. I think it could be a business move because he wants to get back with Adidas. I saw that Kanye and Adidas got back into a deal some kind of way. Now, maybe as part of the deal, it's like, look, man, we need you to clear up this whole anti-Semitic thing. We're losing money from our investors. We need to sell these shoes because they have a ton of inventory at Adidas of Yeezy shoes that they can't sell because of what happened. They want to cut ties with them. But if there's a triumphant return, he rises from the ashes like a phoenix and he apologizes to everybody and everybody loves him again, then they can start selling the shoes again. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find this article. Adidas, Yeezy. Not Yeezy, Yeezy. Let me see. These headlines are crazy. What will Adidas do with tainted Yeezy sneakers? It's crazy. Adidas has $1.3 billion in Yeezy sneakers. $1.3 billion. Look at this. New York Times article. Adidas is wondering what to do with $1.3 billion in Yeezy sneakers. After severing business ties with rapper Ye, Adidas says it would cut its dividend and declared 2023 a transition year. So basically, they said, look, we're not going to make no money because of one person, Kanye West. We cut ties with him because we said he did something wrong. One person lost us all this. But the shoes are already made, so it's like, why would you just let them sit on the shelf? Why would you not sell them? If you need money, if you need capital, the capital's right there. Why would you take that kind of stance on the guy and lose over $1 billion? Is it worth it at the end of the day? Because you could take a stand and say, yeah, we stood up against hate. We don't stand for hate here. But if they go bankrupt, then it doesn't matter. They've been around for forever. They go bankrupt over this. I'm not going to do that. I don't care about all that. Oh, we got to do right. Nah, man. We got to make money. You might get protested. You might get boycotted, but that won't matter if you go bankrupt and you have the money you have no business to actually boycott anyway. So this could be part of it. And I think that there was a deal. Hold on. So yeah. Here it is right here. So I read this some days ago, some weeks ago. It says Ye and Adidas reportedly reached agreement to sell remaining $500 million US in Yeezy sneakers. Was it a fake article? I don't know. But check this out though. I'm gonna go to. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait just 1 minute. Because I thought I could go to Adidas /Yeezy and it would tell me something. Adidas.com, Yeezy. Oh, yeah. Here you go. It is right there. So check it out. I'm going to go to Adidas.com. Watch this. I'm going to go to Adidas.com, right? This is the regular website, Adidas.com. But if I go to Adidas.com /Yeezy, watch what happens. Check it out. At Adidas, we do not tolerate anti-Semitism, racism, or any other forms of hate. Our company's values are rooted in diversity and inclusion, mutual respect, and fairness. Learn more about our mission and purpose to the people and the planet. So there's nothing there about Yeezy or nothing. This is costing you $1.3 billion. I can't do it. Look, people are upset. They're triggered. They're mad. They butt hurt. Okay, but I feel like by now they're over it. They're over it. So we got to press forward here. we got to press forward. You know what I mean? We can't just sit here all day, be so mad. We got money to make. Somebody says 1.3 billion of shoes made in China. I mean, what shoes aren't made in China? Okay, how about your cell phone? Your cell phone's made in China. Everything's made in China. That's a whole different issue and a deeper issue than Kanye West, Adidas, Apple, iPhone. That's deeper than that. Shoot, they make our medication, syringes, insulin, like all kind of stuff over there. If we went to war with China, they would destroy us. They're already kind of killing us right now with the drugs. I'm talking about that in a minute. The drugs, the social media proliferation, they're killing us with that. If they were to cut off our supplies, we'd be totally toast. We don't make things over here anymore. I mean, we make some things. I got to be clear for those. Well, actually, we do make some things. We make some things here, but the bulk of the things we consume every day are not made in this country. So that's a problem. That's a really big problem that goes beyond what we're talking about right now. That's a whole different issue. Trump tried to address it. Trump tried to get down to the bottom of the trade deficit. I mean, but it's just so deep. Not only the trade deficit, but also China owns a lot of our debt. It's a mess. We could never defeat China in the war, unfortunately. Because again, war does not just mean on the ground. And even on the ground, I mean, that's going to be a problem. Wasn't Huawei, the Chinese company, providing a lot of our U.S. military with security equipment? I mean, shouldn't U.S. security equipment be made in the U.S.? Because they could put malware on there. They could put all kind of chips on there that transmit right back to China. These phones right here, you know, TikTok, it's an issue. But really, where's your phone made at? We're worried about a Chinese app, but you got a Chinese phone. What is to stop them from putting the back door on your Apple iPhone at the Foxconn factory that'll report right back to China? And when you're on your phone, you may not have TikTok on your phone, but you go on the websites that have TikTok trackers, and it's going to collect your data from browsing. So even if you don't have TikTok, you do have TikTok. They're talking about banning it. I've seen some of that, but I feel like it's a dog and pony show. They're not really going to do it. Furthermore, we need to get a grip on the algorithms and the tracking that happens right here. As I said before, these algorithms know a lot about you. They know a lot about you. Maybe they've changed this over time, but I don't think they have. You ever see on Facebook, or mostly Facebook, it's kind of changed a little bit now, but definitely a while back, if you were going your Facebook, open your app, and you see a product you were just talking about, you may think that the app was listening to you and you got that recommendation because of what the app heard. That's possible. Maybe that did happen. But here's another explanation. Maybe your browsing patterns told the machine learning that you fit into the category of other people that ultimately went to this particular page looking for this item. And it gets so deep, they could tell if you're pregnant, they could tell if you're sick by your browsing pattern. You go on the websites, you're going on Google, self-medicating, searching for things. You know, you're searching a certain kind of way, certain time of the day and night. They know a lot about you. And they know what you look like. They know what your eyes look like. They know what race you are, where you live, your phone number, the email. They know all that right here in America. Now, the thing about TikTok is that they're reporting that information straight to the Chinese Communist Party. The CEO of TikTok is talking about, oh, we don't report to China. It's BS. Any Chinese company has to report to the Chinese Communist Party by law. They have to. That's just what it is. All right. So that's just what that is. To algorithms. Yeah, Al Gore invented the internet. Al Gore, I don't know what's going on. Al Gore is like the original grifter. Well, not the original. He's probably one of the most prolific grifters. What does Al Gore do aside from just fly on his private plane all around the world talking about climate change while he contributes to it? How you going to have this big gas guzzling estate? You know how much energy these mega mansions, big estates use? Not just for heating and cooling and water and things of that nature inside the home. I'm talking about the maintenance, the lawn care service. Oh my goodness. How much gas does that consume? You may have electric mowers and things of that nature, but how are you going to get across this big estate with an electric push mower? I've seen a riding electric mower. It had like 85 batteries on it. I'm exaggerating, but it had a lot of batteries. Hold on. I'm going to show you guys this riding mower from Ego. It costs $5,000 to $6,000. I think $6,000. It has 6 batteries in it. And these batteries are not small. These batteries are humongous. I thought I had one in here, but I don't. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, so here we go. Now, this right here is not going to get the job done on Al Gore's property. You see all those batteries right there? 6 batteries. And these batteries are humongous. The batteries are like, I'm thinking probably maybe about a foot tall, maybe about 8 inches wide. They're big. They're big batteries. Hold on. Let me see if I can. This right here costs $6,500. It's totally ridiculous. All right. So hold on. You got to charge the whole thing too. Charge the mower, and you got to have batteries. It's a 0-turn mower. It looks good, but I mean, you wouldn't pay that much. Anyway, my point that I'm making is, how much does it cost to actually maintain Al Gore's home? How much do these flights cost? How much fuel are you consuming on these private chartered flights? Landscaping the home, upkeeping the home, inside, outside, pest control, pressure washing, all that. It's expensive. A lot of CO2 sent into the atmosphere. I think Al Gore just found a lane for himself to fit in. He is the unofficial climate czar of this country. And Greta Thunberg, I'm not sure what's going on with her. Like, I feel like that might be international. She's an international version of Al Gore. Okay. She's an international Al Gore. And they do these photo shoots with the police all the time. It's to the point where this stuff that happens is so blatantly obvious. It's so blatantly obvious. It's crazy. Hold on. Let me see if I can find the actual here's a picture of Greta. It's like, why is she being carried around everywhere like this? What's the purpose? I've seen her recently get arrested at least twice, and both times she was being carried around like this. Why? Can she not walk? Does she have something wrong? Is it a ankle injury, knee injury? What's going on? And why does she look like that? What's happening with her mental? It's a mess. A whole big mess. And why is there female officers carrying her? You got the two males right here and then the two females carrying her. Why? Are the males not allowed to carry her for some reason? I don't know where this is. You guys may know. Politi, that's what it says. Politi. What country is that? What language is that? I don't know. Y'all let me know. Somewhere over in Europe, obviously. But the whole point I'm making is these people are just there. It's all a show. It's all a game. It's the photo op. Exactly. Photo op all over the place. They set her up on these photo ops. They tell her to go out there, give a quick little speech for the cameras, and then that's that. But then when it came to the natural disaster in East Palestine, Ohio, no Greta Thunberg, no Al Gore, did Joe Biden ever go to East Palestine, Ohio? They sent Pete Buttigieg a day late and dollar short after it got popular on social media. They sent him out there a day late, dollar short. Did Kamala Harris go there? It's crazy. Is it Italy? Probably Italy, where Greta is being arrested. It's a girl power. But yeah, this whole thing it's a crazy mess. It's all about just trying to prove a narrative. You're feeding people certain ideologies. It's not really real, though. It's not real. And I think as soon as people realize that stuff is not real, we'll realize just how dumb they think we are. But you guys know the drill. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. So Biden has not been to East Palestine. No surprise. And I think Biden even said, I'm not going there. I'm not going to no East Palestine. He even said that, like, on camera. I was kind of shocked, but at the same time, I wasn't. Just like I was not shocked when Joe Biden said, hey, man, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Imagine getting disrespected to your face. Charlamagne the God, I'm going to speak on this right quick because it's on my mind. I'm going to get it off my chest. I'm going to just vent, if y'all don't mind. Charlamagne the God, he's this pro-black, black guy on the Breakfast Club during the panorama, during the scamdemic, plain pandemic, pandorama, whatever it is, pandorama. During this time, he is interviewing Joe Biden on the campaign trail. And toward the end of the interview, he's trying to ask, hey, what about some of these black issues I got? What about some of this black stuff? What are you going to do for the black community? Biden was like, look, man, I got to go, man. I only got time for this. How about this? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. How about that? If you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Big Cheshire cat smile on his face. Big Cheshire cat cheese eating grin from ear to ear. And nobody said anything. It wasn't even a big deal. The people that talk about all this about racism and the white man, all this and that, they talk about all that stuff. But then when you actually have actual racism and actual racist comment, then nobody says anything. It shouldn't matter what color I am. Like, you shouldn't tell me because I'm a certain color that I got to vote for you. Nah, why should I vote for you? What are you going to do? Politicians make campaign promises. A lot of times they fall short, but they make campaign promises. And they do it for certain groups. The Democratic Party, they do it for certain groups. The Hispanics, the border wide open. That won't help everybody, obviously, but some want that. Border wide open. Asians, anti-Asian hate bill. When Charlamagne said, hey, what do we get? It's like, nothing. Vote Democrat or you ain't black. How about that? It was kind of a threat. It's like, look, if you don't vote for me over Trump, I'm going to revoke your black card. I'm the white man. I can do that. I was like, wow, really? As I you gonna take that, Charlamagne? You gonna take that? And I think Charlamagne kind of got embarrassed because after that, I would see him, and when Biden would come on the screen, he'd get a little bit more aggressive and talking against him, talking negatively against him, or at least asking questions. But still not enough to just make him go the other direction. Unfortunately, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, what about the issues? Nah, just vote, man. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about why you should vote for me. Just do it. Just because I said so. Because you're black and I'm white. I'm the Democrat. Do it. And shut up about it. I don't care what color you are. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. I want to know why I should vote for you, period. I don't care who you are, where you come from, how old you are, what gender you identify as. You can identify as a box of crayons that's halfway eaten by some brand new Marine Corps recruits. I don't care. What are you going to do? Why should I vote for you over the other guy? What are your policies? What are you going to implement? Are you going to raise taxes? Am I going to be less safe? Are you going to protect gun rights? What are you going to do? Nope. Vote because you're black. I wish I would. I wish I would. No way, no how. But if you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Yeah, I use Ego products as well, keyword management, but I don't have that riding mower. I have a pretty small line. You know, I live in one of these subdivisions, it's kind of new, where we don't have much space between each other. Yeah, I live in one of those places. It's fine to me. I'm not really tripping. It was a decision between packed subdivision, not packed, but tighter than most old homes. I could pick between a tighter subdivision or an older home with more land. But with an older home, you got older home problems sometimes. You got a bunch of hidden repairs, random stuff. You opening the wall. You got some random stuff in there, living, hanging out, chilling like it ain't nothing going on. You got the foundation starting to, okay, you got a marble. You put the marble on the kitchen island, and that thing just rolling, Fred Durst style. Now you got a foundation problem. You got plumbing issues. You got all kind of stuff in the older home, potentially. But it's kind of a toss-up. But I picked the newer home over the older home because I wanted to have fewer problems, fewer hidden problems that come about. But hey, it is what it is. Make gas cheap again. Everything gets better. Trump 2024. We're going to see. We're definitely going to see. For sure. And what else we got going on? Yeah, Roger. Roger said subdivisions be cooler, cast out. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, you know what? I've learned that 007 girl. New homes are built cheap. A lot of the newer homes aren't built cheap, but I don't know what it is. But I lucked out. In my neighborhood, people are having problems with some of their houses, but my house is out. The Mexicans might just knew who I was. I don't know, man, because they built my house rock solid. So shout out to the whole crew, Jose and them. You know what I'm saying? Arriba La Raza, all that good stuff. You guys did a fantastic job. I'm being dead serious because my home is good. Knock on wood. My home is good, but other ones, I don't know. It is what it is. Burko says, I'm glad I live in the van down by the river. Hey, that's going to be some of us, you know what I'm saying, coming out here pretty soon, living in the van down the river. R.I.P. Chris Farley. One of the funniest to ever do it. He was the funniest SNL. He was like a top 3 funniest. No, you know, I'm going to say it. Chris Farley was the funniest guy to ever go on SNL. Eddie Murphy, all these guys, Chris Farley in that environment was the funniest ever. Hilarious. But anyway, what else do we have going on here? Uganda. So Uganda is going to pass laws that would curtail LGBTQ LMNOP activity in their country. And before I get to that, I saw a different article. Okay, I saw a different article where another country did something similar. It did something very similar, and I've not seen any kickback. I've seen some kickback to Uganda. You got your man John Kirby talking about, oh, we might sanction them because we give them almost $1 billion in medical aid every year. Uganda, that is. We might sanction them because of this new LGBT law. Matter of fact, I'm going to find that right quick, and then I'm going to show you guys the other article that I don't see any kickback to at all. Not in the least bit. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, can I not find it? What's going on? RP headphone users. I ain't want to have that loud noise in your ear. But let me go ahead and find that one, if it's all possible. And hold on, let me just do it this way. There we go. So here is John Kirby responding to Uganda passing the quote-unquote anti-LGBT bill. So what they're going to do, they're going to criminalize that, any kind of LGBT activity, including things that it could lead to, like incest or pedophilia. I'm not saying everybody that's LGBT will do that, but that's what they're saying it could lead to in Uganda. So it's not me. This is just what I'm reporting on. So don't nobody get offended and try to flag me. Oh, you said this. I said nothing. I'm just talking about the news. Let's see what John Kirby says about the situation and what he's threatening to do to Uganda if they go forward with the bill. Because I think it still has to be signed by the President Museveni, but he'll sign it.
Is anything like sanctions or some other concrete measure being considered by the U.S. side if this law should take effect?
Yeah, well, first of all, big if there, right? This is the Parliament passing it. It still has some process to go here. We're certainly watching this real closely, and we would have to take a look at whether or not there might be repercussions that we would have to take, perhaps in an economic way, should this law actually get passed and enacted. And that would be really unfortunate because so much of the economic assistance that we provide Uganda is health assistance, and largely through PEPFAR. You can see a world in which, a law like this, should it be enacted, would not only, as Karine rightly said, just be devastating to a whole community of people inside Uganda, but if it were to have any kind of an effect on our economic assistance, that would only make that worse.
So you hear that? You're talking about, hey, if you guys want to follow through with that, there might be an economic penalty. You guys may suffer a penalty because you guys are not following the script. You guys are not doing what should be done. Okay? You're talking about almost $1 billion in aid that we give Uganda that they would cut. Okay? But let's check it out here, though. Let's check it out because, as I said, there's more to it. There is much more to it. And give me a second as I pull it on up. Because other countries do the same thing already. It's not Uganda that's by themselves. Oh, check it out. Check it out. Okie dokie. So watch this. Egyptian police using fake Grindr accounts to arrest users. So if you guys don't know what Grindr is, I won't be graphic, but basically it's a gay dating app. We'll keep it right there. We got little kids watching it. It's a gay dating app. Okay. So they're gonna set you up like to catch a predator. Straight up. There's gonna be fake accounts on there, and if you meet them, you catch up, you get up with them, they're gonna lock you up. So you could be arrested for being gay over there in Egypt. Why? Muslim country. It is what it is. But nobody would say a word about that. I wonder why. Same thing, Saudi Arabia, other places like that. They don't tolerate that kind of stuff. Now, of course, if you go to Afghanistan, they got other issues going on, but that's aside from the point. The point is that laws like this, and even in Afghanistan, look, they were told to speak on Afghanistan for a moment. The military would see the boys over there being abused, and they were told, look the other way. If you see some man with a boy with him, just look the other way. Don't even say nothing. I mean, obviously that is completely wrong. That is wrong. That is what you should talk about sanctions over, abusing children. But they ignore that. So why would they be talking about Uganda limiting the LGBT stuff? Why would they talk about that if they don't talk about Afghanistan doing a thing that's actually wrong, allowing the abuse of children? You see what I mean? Now, it's a debate over the LGBT thing. If you have them cracking down on that kind of behavior, among adults especially, protecting kids should be paramount. But this here with the LGBT could be up for debate, but they won't do that with other countries. They'll let everything go in those countries because they got other interests in those countries. They'll just let stuff slide. Okay. It kind of reminds me of what's going on with the IRS. Have you guys been paying attention to the whole thing about the, I think I did a video on it actually, talking about they're going to start to audit wait staff if they're not reporting enough tips. And long story short, what they're going to do is they want to get an average of the amount of tips that each restaurant reports in the place. And if you, as a server, aren't reporting the appropriate amount, what they're going to do is potentially audit you. Hey, you know what? You're not reporting enough, man. Your particular your particular zip code, you're not really meeting the mark where you should be. The tips reported per server in this area are X amount, and you are 70% lower than X. So you're not reporting enough. And here's a meme that kind of sums it up. Check it out. On one side, I'm a politician making millions by insider trading, IRS. Got the blindfold on. I didn't see anything. My blindfold's on. I'm looking the other way. I don't see anything. But then right next to it, I'm a waiter just trying to pay my bills. You can see that part at the bottom. I'm just trying to pay my bills. I'm a waiter. I got my red bow tie on, okay, my Olive Garden vest, and then the IRS looking dead at him, no blindfold. You're going to be audited. That's kind of how it goes. That is how it goes, okay? And it's really a shame, but that's how the government is like that. That's why the government shouldn't be so big. It should not be so big at all. So yeah, Uganda, shout out to them. I mean, that's their country. Do what they want to do. We shouldn't try to interfere. Some may not like it, but guess what? If you don't like it, you have the option to live here in America where, unfortunately, pretty much everything goes. You know what? I would take a page out of their book in Uganda, at least for minors. I mean, why is it that I have to come on here and say that minors should not be exposed to any of this LGBTQ, elemental P, or any kind of other sexuality? Why must I come on here and have to say that? Why is that even a thing I got to say? Why is that a thing that's even a discussion? Shouldn't that be default? Shouldn't we just leave the kids alone? Why we got kids involved? I'm seeing this video, which I won't post right here. I'm not going to show that because at a certain point, I'm on my social media and I'm seeing these videos come across. I'm like, okay, what am I seeing here? Should I be actually looking at this? If there's a 12-year-old boy dancing around in drag in a club, should I be able to see that? I don't think so. I don't want to see it for sure, but I'm scrolling my timeline and it's right there. Since when was that okay? 5 years ago, that would have been a thing to get you locked up. If you had that on your phone 5 years ago, you would go to jail. If you allowed that 5 years ago, you would get locked up. But now it's okay? I don't really understand. It's weird. It's totally weird. So I'll take a page out of their book. I was like, okay, you doing stuff like that to children, then you got to go to the penitentiary. If you're an adult, I'm not really going to get in the way. If you have consenting adults doing stuff like this, hey man, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but y'all go ahead. But what you gonna do is leave the kids out of it. If Tyrone and Billy want to go in the back room and they're adults and they consent, that's their business, not my lifestyle. Never would I engage in that. but I'm not Tyrone and Billy. But when you want to take that little boy back there, now y'all gotta actually go ahead and go over there. I almost said something else, but I don't want to get myself flagged. But y'all know what I wanted to say. It starts with a D and ends with an IE. It starts with a D and ends with an IE. But I say go to jail. Be civil. Yeah. But y'all know what's really going on. And again, what I wanted to say, shouldn't it be controversial? Everyone should be on the same page. But you got some guys that are like, oh, well, actually what? You got to go too. You want to go with them? Anyway, I digress. I'm getting triggered now, so I digress. Shout out to Uganda. That's their culture. That's what they want for themselves. Let them do it. It shouldn't be up to anybody on the outside world to try and make them change. You can disagree with it, and that's totally fine. That's your right to disagree. That's your opinion. Keep it that way. Keep it that way. When you're talking about children, I think we should be able to agree on certain things universally, though. Universally, we should be able to agree. Around the world, you should be able to protect children. But when it comes to laws that are impacting adults, that's different. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And we got quite a bit happening. Yeah, up under the jail for sure. And did I get to everything I wanted to get to? Michael Cohen. Oh, Michael Cohen. Did I get to him or not? I don't think I did. Michael Cohen, Trump's former lawyer, put out a letter that basically exonerates the president before there's any kind of criminal action against him. You all know what the thing is in New York. They want to get Trump on. They want to say, oh, you paid Stormy Daniels X amount of money, all this, that, and the third. That's what they want to say. And they're saying that payment was criminal because of the way that it was done. They said Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 in hush money, and then Trump's companies reimbursed him as a result. And they're saying that transaction right there was some kind of accounting mistake or enough of a mistake for it to be intentional or something. Whatever they want to say, it is a misdemeanor. In New York City, you have a 2-year statute of limitations on misdemeanors, so you can't even bring that charge anyway. But they want to elevate it to a felony because they said it was a campaign finance law because Trump had the election in mind whenever the alleged payments went from person to person, which is a stretch by any stretch, pun intended, of the imagination. It's a stretch. To say that would just be ridiculous. To say that, oh, well, he paid the money. First, you got to be able to prove that Trump paid this money to Cohen and that it was for Stormy Daniels and that it was for hush money and that it was because of the election. You got to prove a lot, and you're not really going to be able to do it, especially since Trump said there was no affair. She said there was no affair. And as a matter of fact, she owes Trump $300,000. So you got to be able to prove that. You got to prove a lot. You got to move mountains, make this case work. It's the weakest case that I've seen in a long time. I'm no lawyer. I don't study law, but I've seen some of these little cases float around my desk as I report the news. And this one right here has got to be one of the weakest I've ever seen. There's nothing really there. There's no there. There's a mountain of there when it comes to Hunter, the crackhead. Okay, there's a mountain of there when it comes to that. Line on the application to get your firearm, talking about you have no drug addiction. Meanwhile, you were discharged from the military for drug addiction. You have documented cases of you being a crackhead. You got video of you smoking crack, weighing crack, getting discharged for crack. But then all of a sudden you get a gun, pass a background check where it clearly states, have you been hooked on drugs? Are you a drug addict? Do you have a substance abuse problem? You got to check yes. If you check yes, you can't pass a background check. You know what? Speaking about that, a lot of these people that want gun control would not pass a background check. Remember, I did that video years ago, it's still to this day like my top viewed video, where the guy, the reporter, failed his background check. He wanted to make a point about how easy it is to get a gun, and background checks are bad and all this and that and the third. But ultimately, he failed his background check. I'm gonna play it because this we gotta bring it back. This is from 2016, way back in the day, during the Trump campaign. Let's put it on the screen right quick. A little blast from the past for you guys. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. This is 2016. A journalist in Chicago failed his background check after he was trying to prove a point about how easy it'd be to pass it.
Neil Steinberg of the Chicago Sun-Times was hoping to coast through the process of buying an AR-15 at a local gun store. But during the mandatory 24-hour waiting period, the store refused to sell to him because he failed his background check. And this part is a little embarrassing for him. The store said that it was uncovered that Mr. Steinberg had an admitted history of alcohol abuse and a charge for domestic battery involving his wife. Therefore, he wasn't able to buy a gun. Well, Steinberg claims that he was denied because he was a member of the media.
I mean, you cannot make that stuff up. You cannot make that stuff up. I've seen that over and over again. People like that. And if Hunter Biden did not lie on his application on his background check to get a gun, he'd have been in the same boat. He would have been denied. You can't be no crackhead getting your weapon. But anyway, I digress. So here's a letter from Michael Cohen's own lawyer back in 2018 that kills the whole case. It kills the whole case. As I said, there's nothing here. Hunter Biden mounting the evidence against him, mounting the evidence, but nothing when it comes to evidence against Trump. Trump says I didn't do it. I didn't pay. So does Stormy Daniels say the same thing. Michael Cohen's own lawyer back in 2018 confirms that. Let's check it out. Dear Mr. Jordan, I'm writing on behalf of my client, Michael Cohen, in response to your letter dated January 30th, 2018, etc. Let's keep on going. In the private transaction in 2016 before the presidential election, let me zoom in. Mr. Cohen used his own personal funds to facilitate a payment of $130,000 to Miss Stephanie Clifford at Stormy Daniels. Neither the Trump organization nor the Trump campaign was a party to the transaction with Ms. Clifford, and neither reimbursed Mr. Cohen for the payment directly or indirectly. Contrary to the allegations in the complaint, which are entirely speculative, neither Mr. Cohen nor Essentials Consultants LLC made any in-kind contributions to Donald J. Trump for President Incorporated or any other presidential campaign committee. Mr. Cohen has not been a government employee during any of the relevant time period. The payment in question does not constitute a campaign contribution or expenditure, and therefore the FEC, Federal Election Commission, lacks jurisdiction over this matter. The complaints have not and cannot present any evidence to the contrary. Accordingly, the complaint should be dismissed. This is from Michael Cohen's lawyer back in 2018, early 2018. So the case against Trump is that he paid Stormy Daniels through Michael Cohen, but everybody says he didn't do it, including Cohen's own lawyer. So where's the case? You know, Trump said he was going to be arrested on Tuesday of this week. It didn't happen. And they keep pushing the grand jury back. They keep saying, oh, we gotta do this and we gotta do that. It's going to delay it. You're kicking the can down the road. You're not ever going to be able to get Trump indicted because there's nothing there. If the grand jury, well, they will see that letter. They're going to see that letter from Michael Cohen's lawyer and then see that everybody denies it except for Cohen. Clearly somebody's lying in Cohen's camp. So if somebody is lying in Cohen's camp, why would he be the star witness? Why would you believe him? Why would you believe anything that he says? You can't. So you got to just go ahead and dismiss that case. Alvin Bragg, I don't know what his deal is. He's trying to be Cory Booker. Not Cory Booker. That's a bad example. He's trying to be Barack Obama, I guess. But you need to go ahead and get on the treadmill and shed some of that New York City pizza weight. But different story. I digress. The point is, you got guys and girls trying to become celebrity politicians, celebrity district attorneys. They're trying to get that limelight. They want to be like Keisha Lance Bottoms of Atlanta. They want to be Kamala Harris. They want to, like Tiffany Cross. They want to live fancy. But it's like you're playing people's lives here. You're playing with people's lives. You're trying to get the president locked up. For what, though? Social media attention? A little bit more money? What's the actual end goal? You're playing with someone's life. And that doesn't do very good when it comes to the general public and their view of the police and law enforcement, because we know that you're using prosecution as a weapon to enrich yourself, to move yourself to a higher status socially. And that's whack. So, yeah, Alvin Bragg, an embarrassment. The case, an embarrassment. There's zero there, nothing there. Throw it out because you have nothing. Michael Cohen is your star witness, basically, and he has nothing. His own lawyer torpedoed the whole case. 5 years ago, he torpedoed the whole case. So what are we talking about? Nothing, but I digress. All right, we got super chats on deck. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. I'm going to get to the calls in just one moment. Y'all hang tight. Super chats on deck. Thank you to Lancelot, who says, salutations, ABL, with a bunch of beer emojis or drink emojis. Cheers, mate. Cheers to you with my hint water. No ad. Thank you to Nick Corio, who says, hello, my dear friend, with the deer emoji. Thank you for that. Thank you to Mr. Repurpose, who says, hey, dude, shout out to you. Thank you to Laura Catherine for your keep it up, working out emoji donation. Michael Critchlow says, did you see the video of the black guy verbally assaulting the white family with their toddler on the subway in New York City? It's going viral. Check it out. I saw that. I'm seeing a bunch of those videos kind of floating around. A lot of them are kind of old. And I don't understand what the purpose of those old videos coming back out is. But I did see that. Yeah, it was crazy. Thank you to Psalm 3713, who says, sneak peek with the eye emoji. And thank you to Joe Mello, who says, hey, ABL, keep up the good work, sir, and God bless. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. All righty, we got some time for the calls. Oh, yeah, and Fetterman, I don't know what's going on with your man Fetterman. You guys may have seen that picture of him. I don't know what's going on with him. He's all over the place. Like, if y'all know what's happening with your man Fetterman, y'all let me know. I don't know what's happening. I think that the guy has some... I think something's wrong, like seriously wrong. He got elected. Well, he got inaugurated, in January? It's about to be April. We've not really seen him. And my question is, how long can you be in the Senate without actually voting, without actually working? How are you going to get paid? How can you do anything while you're not actually able to do anything? You see what I mean? Can you have somebody else vote for you? Can someone else vote for you in abstention? Is that how that works? I don't think so. So what are we going to do here? I don't know what's going on with Fetterman. I think ultimately the guy has some issues and he probably can't work them out. He should go ahead and just resign, call it quits, and let somebody else come in and take over for him. Because he can't do this anymore. And it was cruel from the beginning to have him out there. After the stroke, he should have said, you know what, I gotta just. But see, if he was to have resigned at that point, then the Democrats would have been out back. The Republican would have won. It would have been unopposed because he won his primary right during the stroke time. So it's like, what happens? How are you really going to be able to? He had to go out there and do that. Maybe the plan was, okay, we're going to weekend at Bernie's you across the finish line. And once you win, we'll say, oh, he has depression and he has all kind of stuff going on. And then we're going to let you resign. And then we'll have the governor appoint somebody to go in your place. Is that how that works? If Fetterman resigns, what happens? Is it going to be a governor appointee and then special election? Y'all let me know how that works. But obviously he should have dropped out of the race when he had his stroke, because clearly you're not going to be the same as you were before. And at that point, you need to be, worried about your health, especially since he can't really hear you talk. When you're talking to him, all he hears is wah, 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 wah. That's all he hears. It's so bad he has to read what you're saying. he has to read what you're saying. Have you seen that commercial for elderly people where it's like if you talking to your grandkids one of these little house phones and it has this monitor and the monitor has the words being transcribed right there. He needs that for your everyday life. And he's not an elderly person. You can't be in a Senate like that. You got to be able to actually do stuff. You got to work. I don't know. But anyway, I digress. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what you think about Fetterman. The change. Some say it's not him. I can't call it. I'm seeing the Men in Black, the Men in Black roach suit. Whenever I see him, I cannot get that out of my head. The Men in Black roach suit. Remember that guy? You guys may not have seen that movie. You might be kind of young. But on the first Men in Black, when the aliens came down, it was like they got all kind of different species of aliens. And one of them was like a real big roach. And he is like a body snatcher. So he took this random farmer's body. And the way he was looking in the body, it was like, yo, you're not really fitting in too well. I could see that you're kind of a roach inside of a human's body. It was crazy. Shout out to Men in Black. Shout out to the old Will Smith before he slapped Chris Rock. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. I look forward to hearing you guys on the line. All right. There's also a Skype email in the description box. If it doesn't work right, it's not my fault. Y'all know who to blame. Blame the white man. And no, that's not racist to say blame the white man. Okay. How about this? Blame the black man. Blame the Asian man. Blame the Puerto Rican man. Blame the Eskimo man. Blame the Asian. Blame the man. The proverbial man, blame him. How about that? Blame everybody, because it ain't my fault. 859, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going from West Kentucky? What's up, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Well, recently I've been, arguing, talking to my friends online and stuff like that about gun rights and the gun rights debate. And my position, the whole situation between Biden trying to take away our guns away and not knowing what the difference between an AR-15 and your standard rifle. It's just the ignorance from the left, from like the Bernie Sanders, the AOCs, the Democrats. They don't know what they're talking about if it's revolving guns. They can't tell a difference between a semi-automatic and a fully automatic. And they can't tell a difference between a 9mm or a 20mm. My question is, to you is, do you think in this time period with Joe Biden, is he going to put more gun restrictions? Is it going to be a possibility? I know the Obama administration didn't do nothing, hardly anything good.
Well,
I'm very pro-gun.
Yeah, they might try to do more, but I'm not sure what they can do. They're trying to set the stage to ban all guns. That's their ultimate goal, because they keep talking about semi-automatic. The person in the street who is not a gun owner, they don't know what that means. They don't know what that, they don't understand it just means magazine fed. They don't know. So they don't think that it's going to be about a handgun ban too. They're thinking about some kind of big scary rifle that they see on Call of Duty or something like that. They don't understand what that really means. So they're trying to just kind of set the stage and the tone in the general person's mind that all guns that say semi-automatic are bad, and they want to ban it that way. That's going to be a tall task to do, because a lot of Americans have those guns, even those that are not really political, that are even Democrats. That's why Stacey Abrams did not do very good in Georgia, because a lot of her constituents or people that could be her constituents there had guns, black, white, or whatever.
And with guns, it makes a safer society. I mean, places that have stricter gun laws, there's more break-ins. But places in like Texas or where I'm at from Kentucky, there's barely any crime. There's barely any break-ins. And of course, a criminal's going to think twice if it's a state that they have the right to carry and and stuff like that. And it's even funnier that journalists, of all people, who claim they're super smart, went to college and stuff like that, couldn't get a gun because he failed a background check. because he had a domestic violence charge on him. It's like, well, no shit, Sherlock, you're going to have a charge against you, and they're not going to sell you the gun if you have a domestic violence charge. When I was going through my divorce temporarily, I couldn't sell or buy my gun. And that it was just a divorce. Like, me going through paperwork, me selling stuff. If I sold it, I would have gotten in trouble by legal stance because I'm right in the middle of a divorce. So people don't realize, and people are just ignorant. Yes, we do have a background check through the FBI, through the ATF. And when you go to a gun store, you have to sign all these documents. People think it's just easy just buying like a toothbrush. And I'm like, no, it's not. And they want to make these laws under misconceptions of no knowledge. I just don't comprehend that.
Right. It's crazy. I think a lot of people are being controlled by outside forces that have their own purposes to ban guns, and they don't even know. They think they're doing the right thing. They think guns are the problem, but really they're being used for an entirely different reason.
All the fatalities over in Australia when they banned guns, when they had the gun buyback, with animals in general have gone up about 85%, even with rhinos. I mean, you're taking on a 1,000-pound, 12-ton rhino coming at you with his horns at your car. What are you supposed to do? I mean, seriously. I mean, that's why we have guns in the first place, to protect yourself from the environments that you're around.
Right. Exactly.
And it's downright silly. I mean, it really is. I mean, you look through history, any kind of rebellion, any kind of revolutionary politics in the early stages were always pro-gun. Everything that was anti-authoritarianism was pro-gun. If you look through history, the Queen was very anti-gun. Hitler and Mussolini, very anti-gun. You looked at any authoritarian state, it was always gun restrictions, down to the KKK, down to even now with the modern day left. And it's sad. It's really sad to see that we haven't learned from our past at all as human beings.
I agree, 100%.
And I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to vote for Mike DeSantis, and I'm debating with Trump, and I'm not really agree with Mike DeSantis besides that one issue in Florida and like protecting our kids. I support that, but he's anti-weed, and I'm not for that, but I will vote for him for the kids, and I'm willing to put my differences aside just to see the right person in office.
It sounds great to me. I mean, that's what we should do. It's like, you probably can't get everything you want in a politician because there's going to be disagreements. You can't please everybody, but as long as you're able to get most of what you need, that's probably the most important thing.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, is with like Trump recently, with all the other stuff. I mean, I think it's ridiculous how he's getting, thrown under the bus or like, getting arrested for storming Daniels. I mean, there's other reasons why to get him arrested on. There's several other things. I mean, he's a politician and he's a billionaire. There's lots of things that he probably has besides this. This is a nothing burger. It really is. And I try to explain this to people. It's like, it's not going to work. It's never going to work. you had something on Russia, but you don't have anything on this. And I'm still going to wave my bets on Mike DeSantis because he's a lot more popular.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Oh, no problem, man. I'm always happy to call you, man.
All right, now. Appreciate you.
Hey, man, I'll drink one for you, bro. Bye.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and restart Skype right quick because I see I already got a problem. I already know what's happening. Skype, it's like the bane of my existence. The bane of my existence. Let's try this one more time. Because I could tell already that it wasn't working properly. Let's restart that and let's get it back cracking. And the number is always in the description box, and it'll also come across the ticker at a certain point in time. And again, I will never, there it is, 434-658-1220. And again, I will never comment. I would never reply to your comment on my video talking about, hey, come text me right here. That'll never, ever happen. So you don't got to worry about that at all. All righty. So yeah. Shout out to the caller. Let's get to a few more. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Yeah, it's going to be a showdown between Trump and DeSantis. We're going to see how it goes, how it works. All right, hold on. Let me fix that. There we go. 929, who am I speaking to?
Tony, how you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yes, there is emergency news in Florida. I mean, most of you guys did not know it, but the Florida Republicans, they are just the same as the Democrat. I mean, the two body, one system, right? They try to pass the bill. It is called Bill 269, which is anti-free speech and anti-First Amendment. And so I hope that you can check it out. They also, they also a website for the signature. The website is the chain.com, and the title is Stop House Bill 269 in Florida. So I hope that anyone who lives in Florida sign that letter and also protest and demand the governor, the Senate, and the Republican to not pass that bill because it's the anti-First Amendment. Yes.
Okay, I got you.
And also, the other things, do you hear a document? It is called, wait, hold on, I am checking it out. It is a documentary to explore the FBI for splash on the victim kidnap and also like they put for accusation on the innocent men and put them in prisons despite they set them up and despite that those persons they refuse to kidnap governor with murder when the federal agent like provoke them to kidnap governor with murder. So the documentary it is called the Kidnap and Kill FBI terror plot. So I hope that you guys can check that out too.
Oh, right on. Yeah, I remember the whole thing about Gretchen Whitmer. That was a big mess. So that'd be good to see that documentary.
Yes. So a woman, I don't know her name, but her channel, she have for the YouTube and the Odyssey channel. It is called the Reddit Room. It is her channel name, and she making that document, and not only that, but the fact they try to use illegal tactics to stop her to make that document come out.
Okay.
Yes. By the way, did they arrest Donald Trump yet? I mean, all the men, did they arrest him yet?
No, they're not going to do that. I don't think. You know, it's talking about arresting them, but I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah. I know they will not do it. I mean, like how many times did they say this is the beginning of the end? Are you able to count it? Because they say it too many times, and I am able to count it.
It's been quite a few times they've said that, and it never, ever, ever happens. Over the years, it's always been the next thing, and it always comes up empty.
Yes, and another thing, do you know why they want to ban the semi-automatic rifle? Despite they are not automatic rifle, do you know why?
Well, they want to ban all guns eventually, and they can just say that most guns are semi-automatic.
Yes, that is one reason. But another reason is because the semi-automatic and the automatic rifle, the only because they are afraid one thing. If the civil war start, the citizen they can use their semi-automatic rifle and turn it into the fully automatic rifle. That's what they are afraid.
I
That's
see.
what they say about us. Do you understand?
I see what you mean. Well, thank you for your call as always, man. I definitely appreciate you.
Yes. Let go, Brandon, and the sauce must flow.
Thank you for the call. Great call. He has very good English on that call right there. He's been practicing. Shout out to him. He speaks better English than I do Vietnamese or whatever his native language is. So shout out to him. 330, you're the line I'm speaking to.
Hey, how you doing?
Everything's all right. I got a little bit of noise in the background. Can you turn the stream off for me?
Yeah, got it turned off. Yeah. Oh no, I just like to be on your show. I actually voted for stupid ass Joe Biden, and
Well,
I come from a different perspective.
Before we start, you can't cuss on the show.
Okay, gotcha. I won't. Yep.
So you voted for Biden. What happened? Why'd you do that?
Well, because I was having some health issues at the time, and I had a sister brought me a ballot, and she practically filled it out for me.
Oh.
And she was a Biden fan, and she put Joe Biden down, and she took it down and mailed it for me. And I knew about it, so it was all, it was not all her fault, but it was my fault too. But I wasn't thinking properly, and physically I wasn't feeling very good. And ever since then, day 2, when he became president, I regretted it. And I have ever since. And I just want to tell you, I try to watch. I don't know. Do you watch like a a political show, maybe overseas or something, to get like an even flow of news coming over? Not just all left, not all right. And if you do, what podcasts are those?
Well, I don't really do that. I read most of my news, so I read a lot. I read everything. I read New York Times. I read Fox. I read whatever local stuff. I read everything. Social media. I'm everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I just read a lot. Like watching news for me, I don't really pay that too much mind. I watch news more for headline stories, not to get information about the story.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I go down to the library and I read those when I can too. So yeah, and it's interesting. You get different perspectives and everything, but it makes it sort of confusing. But I tell you what, when I watch your show, Anthony, I mean, it sort of levels everything out, and you're so cool and calm about it. And I love your attitude, and there's your straightforwardness. And I agree with like 90% of the stuff you say. And I'll tell you what. I'll never vote for another Democrat president again. I will not. So anyways, I appreciate your show, and it's one of the best ones on the internet. And keep up the good work, all right?
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, take care now, Anthony.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. Yeah, man, I'm glad you're able to say that was a bad decision. I understand you were, health problems. I get it. I understand, We all fall short sometimes, but I'm glad you're able to see the error of your ways. But yeah, I read a lot. I'm nerd status. I don't really watch a lot of content. I don't watch a lot of people, like a lot of political people or podcasts, because I like to have an original take. When you're watching news, you're getting the take of that person and or of the place they work for. That's what that is. And I don't like to have other people's opinions cloud my judgment. I want to read it. When you read things, you interpret it differently than when you hear somebody say it. Because when you hear somebody say it, they're expressing it to you, or if there was speech and intonation, to give you their feeling about it. But when you read it, you can interpret it however you want. That's why when I was a kid, I would always read books because it could just take me somewhere else. I can imagine myself there. You see what I mean? But I digress.
I don't like to have.
Calling the line, speaking to 443.
When you read.
Yes. Hi, ABL. This is Elle from Baltimore, unfortunately.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey. So, sorry I couldn't get into your show last Saturday. It was a very, very, very busy show, but it's still a great show anyway. I'm glad to be on tonight.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Yes. What I wanted to talk about first is, I think in your last show, or maybe 2 shows ago, someone had mentioned that BlackRock had made a financial commitment to BLM.
You said BlackRock made a financial, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I just, this strange thought just popped into my mind. Since BLM has been responsible for inciting so many violent riots and millions of dollars in property damage, don't you think that BlackRock is using that to bring down the property value of that area where the riots happen so they can go into the area and take it over and build up a real estate portfolio out of that?
That's a really good way to look at it. That definitely could be what they're trying to do, for sure, because that's their business. So if you are in a real estate business and you make money in a situation where there's destruction and you can rebuild and sell it for more than what was there before, yeah, it makes sense. It might be kind of a contract operation. It's like, look, okay, you guys go over here. And a lot of times it's in areas that could be like gentrification. You guys go over here to this area that's kind of half gentrified already, destroy it, and then we're going to come in, pick up the pieces and make a profit, and we'll pay you for your services. It makes sense.
Yeah, and I thought that it's a really good way of spending good PR for their company and also making a whole bunch of money. And I'm kind of seeing that with Baltimore City. They're doing a lot of like neighborhood rehabilitation projects, and it's turning the city into, it's kind of weird. It's like, the culture of the city is changing. I know for sure that the property values are going up, but a lot of the people who are natives of Baltimore are spreading out there. So I don't know if it's a way of these elites controlling our population and placing them in places that they would also want to take over in the future. Just a thought.
It makes perfect sense to me. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. My second topic, I wanted to talk about the Ugandan LGBT and LMNOP alphabet soup thing.
Yes.
I'm not surprised. I have Nigerian neighbors and Nigerian friends. They do not stand for LGBT whatsoever. Don't mention it. Don't talk about it. Don't even wear a rainbow shirt. Somebody was making fun of me because I had my hair wrapped up in a rainbow scarf, and they said, "Oh, are you one of those?" I was like, "No, I'm not one of those." They told me, watch out when I'm walking downtown, because don't try it with Uganda. Don't try it with Black Africans, especially Black Caribbeans. They are not about the LGBT.
Not at all.
Yeah. I just call them the Rainbow Coalition because I just can't keep up with all their pronouns. I just say Rainbow Coalition. It ties it up nice and neat in a bow, gets the point across. And I remember when the LGBT community was just LGBT. Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember. I don't know what's going on. I just can't keep up. But it's just proof that it's no longer a social cause. It is now a political ideology, and if the U.S. is using sanctions, then it's just proof that our government doesn't really care about standing up for our kids or protecting our kids. They just want to push this agenda at all costs.
Exactly.
Why not stop drag shows for kids? And I think Obama tried something similar with Kenya, or maybe it was Uganda, and it just drastically failed. They laughed him out of Africa. It's like, well, we don't care that Obama is the African last name. We just get out of here.
Right.
Don't try that. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
All right, now.
Good night.
All right, great call. Shout out to her. Yeah, the Africans are not really into. Why are you gay, huh? Why are you gay? You cannot come here with that on your head. That is not how we do things in this house. My son, you will not be gay, huh? You go back to Nigeria, first class, tonight. You will not be gay, my son. All right, but shout out to the caller. 530, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, Anthony. This is Andre calling from the belly of the beast, Berkeley, California.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, I just wanted to comment on everything you're talking about, property values, gentrification, et cetera, because we see it all in the Bay Area here. And it's interesting, if anybody's, I'm sure you're aware of Dr. Thomas Sowell.
Absolutely, yes.
He's written a couple great books. One is called The Housing Boom and Bust, and it basically outlines the only reason real estate is going up in the United States. It's due to supply control. It's the NIMBYs. I can see it in the Bay Area. If you pull up a map of the Bay Area, there's no land shortage here. Maybe in San Francisco, but the rest of the Bay Area, there's tons of land. So it's NIMBYs, not in my backyards. I've got mine. I don't want to see anybody else decrease my property values. It's the environmentalists, and it's the cities, the planning departments that charge exorbitant fees to control supply. I don't know how to get out of this mess with housing and gentrification, but I think it all comes down to that the government is bought at all levels. It's not just the federal government, the congressional crime syndicate. It comes all the way down to local government, because especially in San Francisco, I see an enormous amount of waste. I think you guys are aware that the city's trying to give reparations.
Yeah.
Within the city of San Francisco. I mean, as a taxpayer, I don't know how my head would not be exploding.
Yeah, it was crazy because they said that it would cost every taxpayer in the city $600,000 to pay for it.
Right. And I know people that work for the city of San Francisco that have worked, and the salaries are exorbitant. You can see them online. It's public record. But I think what's happening, and they had a listing for a drag queen. It was a paid position under the office of LBGQ, the alphabet office. So there's all this waste and frivolous spending.
Hold on. One second. So the listing was for the city to hire a drag queen. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, and you can find it. I mean, I'm surprised you haven't found it, because you're so sleuthy. You find greatest stuff. But it was sent to me by a friend. I thought it was a joke, and I went to the site, and yes, it is a paid position from the city of San Francisco it's like a drag queen ambassador for the LGBTQ plus community.
Wow.
And yeah, it's hard to explain to people who aren't from around here how insane it is. But what I was just going to close with was, you should do a short on it. It's really interesting. But the amount of frivolous spending in the city, it has to go somewhere. All the waste, when they just buy things and throw things away just because we don't use that, it goes somewhere within the government. So somebody is making money. It's like the Sopranos at all levels. The money's not being wasted. It's being circumvented back to the grifters in the government. So I'm sad to say I've come to the realization that the entire government at all levels, from federal down to local, is basically nothing more than a crime syndicate. And I don't know how. I just want to get your thoughts on that, because I don't know how we can end it. So
that's tough.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks, ABL. I just wanted to make a few comments. I caught on at the end of your show there and just wanted to chime in. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Take care now.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I don't know how to get beyond that. I think the only thing that you know what the only thing you could do, the only thing you could do to alleviate that type of stuff would be if you had fewer successful people in the city, because with that amount of success, with that amount of wealth, just comes at a certain point boredom and extreme altruism. With fewer people that are successful like that in one area, you're going to have fewer of those. If you didn't have so much money flowing around from tech and stuff like that, then there wouldn't be anybody trying to talk about let's hire a drag queen for the city. You see what I mean? 6.7 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing, man?
It's all
This
good.
is me, Ivan.
Alrighty.
So I guess it was a guy that called, a previous caller that called concerning about what the houses are so expensive in the U.S. And he mentioned that the book of Thomas Sowell. Well, that book, the housing boom and bust. The problem that these people don't know is that anyone in America write a book. Well, if you come from elite school, that does not mean that what you write is true. You're talking about conservation land, just not true. Nothing is true. I mean, they're building apartments in New York like crazy. They're building apartments in Boston like crazy. Washington, D.C., Philly, you name it. Homes, they're building new homes everywhere. So it's not because conservation land. Just not true. The reason the houses are very expensive in the city is because the high demand to move there, number one. Number one is because the FHA. Number two, because the high demand of people living there. We got to get rid of FHA, the Federal Housing Authority loans, guarantee loans. They give you a fixed rate, give you a 3.5% down payment that is easy access for people to get. And also, the top of the lending keep increasing, so home values keep increasing. If you make them easy access for capital, the home values will go up. That has nothing to do with reservation land, nothing to do with all the garbage that he talks about, because nobody checking. There's no really conversation to check Thomas Sowell. That's the problem. That's
So
what
you said if you made capital easier to get, what would happen now?
The home values will go up.
So
I could give an example. Let's say you're a first-time home buyer, and let's say the 6 banks, all the 6 banks, they're asking you, okay, in order for you to get this loan, you need to come with a 20% down payment, 10% down payment, 750 credit score, and they give you a strong restriction when it comes to your debt ratio. They say your debt ratio got to be 14% or 20%. Then Bank of America come in and say, I got FHA loans backed up by the federal government. That means if the investor fail, if you fail to make the mortgage payment, the federal government bail out that investor. What is going to happen? Everybody's going to go to Bank of America to get that loan because it's a fixed rate, very low, 3.5% down payment, and your credit score only has to be 650 or 625. So more people will go to that particular bank, those who have FHA backed up by the federal government, and those other banks that give conventional loans don't get as many customers because the federal government is backing more people.
You're not addressing my question. My question was, okay, so if you make capital easier to get, how would that affect the real estate? You're talking about the banks. How would that affect the real estate?
Because prices will go up, like you said.
So prices would go up. That'd be a good thing?
it's a bad thing for people that want to buy homes.
No, okay, so
It's a good
all right.
thing.
So you're talking about you say that easier access to capital is good or bad?
It's bad. It's bad for the market.
So it's bad. So what are we? Okay, so you're saying that it should be harder to get to capital?
Well, I mean, I don't think that it should be harder. What I'm saying.
Okay, but look, all right, look. Okay. So you're saying that easy to access capital is bad. So
it's bad if the federal government
excuse me. Wait. You said easy to access capital is bad. So wouldn't it make sense for me to say that if it was harder to get, that'd be good?
Well, I mean, you always misconcept what I'm trying to tell you. If the federal government gets involved, backing up these big banks that provide FHA loans, is bad for the market because it's easier for customers to get homes. But it's bad because the values will continue increasing, and the younger generation that are coming up can afford to live in those.
I caught what you said exactly. So what I'm saying is, you should make it harder so that'd be better. That's what you're saying.
Well,
you don't. But excuse me. You don't want to say it because ultimately that'd be more of a conservative viewpoint, perhaps. But that's what you're actually saying, because you're saying that it's too easy right now, and that's driving the home values up. So it should be harder to restrict the ability of people to be able to get capital, which decrease the value, which make it more affordable for those that actually can get homes. That's what you're saying. Well, maybe you don't want to say it like that, but you are saying that.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying it should be harder, but I think the big banks should have play by the same rules by conventional banks and mid-sized banks. So the market could let's say you own a bank and your bank say, well, you know what? If Bank of America is backed up by the federal government, that's what happened in 2008, I'm going to give you a 1% down because I can't compete with Bank of America. First of all, it's long backed up by the federal government. If my down payment is 10%, I'm not going to get my customer. So what they did, they lowered the standard. I said, okay, I'll sell it to you at 1%. Some people say no down payment. So that's what increased the value dramatically. It's not because conservation or land or I will get rid of the FHA, or you can't do it now because they have too many loans. But that was the FHA was created in 1935.
So basically, you want to have smaller government. So check it out. You want to have smaller government, not be involved in the mortgage business, and you want to make it more difficult for people to get access to capital. Correct?
Yes, that's what.
All right. So I don't really see a disagreement. I don't really see a complaint or a disagreement. I agree with that. We should make it harder. We should not have so much free money floating around. That's what's causing the inflation problem. So I don't even see a disagreement.
Well, I mean, the idea was to get homes for people that they couldn't afford homes. That was good. But the top margin keep increasing. For example, the limit of the home was $200,000. And now then the people in the Congress say, no, we need to expand the program, 300,000, 400,000. You know what is the number now? 875,000. You're going to tell me a poor person can afford $875,000 home?
Nah, so the solution is to not have all that government intervention going on and make access to capital more difficult, which is what I said from the beginning. We're not disagreeing. I don't even see why it's a discussion. We're saying the same thing to each other.
No.
We're saying the same thing.
What I'm disagreeing with the previous guy that is talking about that Thomas Sowell said was land conservation because of the environmentalists. That has nothing to do with that. Have to do with FHA, number one.
Well, no, because you're talking about other cities like New York City where they're building homes. You're talking about the Bay Area, San Francisco, where it's a lot of land that's not being built on, and as a result, they're packing people in a very small areas. It's not the same way everywhere. It's not the same way all over the country. Geographically, things are different. Ultimately, we're talking about financial stuff. We're talking about access to capital. That's a whole different argument. You're talking about excuse me. You're talking about something totally different than what the previous caller was talking about. You guys are arguing two separate points.
No, it's not true.
Yes.
I read his book. His book said that environmentalists are screwing things around because they're restricting land in major cities, Boston, New York, New Jersey. That's why we said the property home value was going up. It's just not true because they're building homes everywhere.
So
Everywhere you go to
excuse
Boston,
me,
they're building
he
homes.
was making the example from the book as it relates to one specific area. Now, are they building? You talking about New York City, et cetera? Are they building homes all over the Bay Area and all this free land they got just sitting there?
They're building homes in the Bay Area, not as much as Texas because they don't have enough land.
They have the
They
land
don't
up
have
there.
enough
They
land
have
there.
the
They don't have
land.
enough
That's
land
that's what you don't understand. They have the land, not in San Francisco, the city itself, but in the Bay Area. It's a lot of land that's not being developed upon. Oh, because we got the sea turtle, we got the aquatic snake, and we got the buffalo, all kind of dumb animals out there that they said they wanted to conserve, but really it's a financial thing. That's different than what you're talking about right there, access to capital and banking. That's
No.
But
The main reason
check it
has
out.
nothing
But
to
check
do
it out.
with
But check it out.
conservation.
You've been on a little bit too long. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, that's two separate arguments. You're talking about land conservation and then access to capital. Access to capital that's causing the inflation problem, but that's not related to the amount of land that exists in a place like Bay Area that's not being developed upon. You got a bunch of land that's just out there just not being touched because of environmental reasons. You know, it's the same thing they talk about when they say they want to combat offshore drilling. Oh, we got to save the spotted sea turtle. You don't care about no spotted sea turtle. It's like PETA. Prime example with PETA. PETA, they call themselves animal conservationists, but then they got a office right there on the banks of the Elizabeth River. Right there on the river. Okay, I'm talking about right there. How many fish and turtles and ducks and frogs and whatnot died when they built that? And how many are affected by them being right there on the river? It's so dumb. But I digress. Now, when Nate, get on line, I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's up, ABL? It's JB Scotchman from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. Well, I missed the first part of your show tonight, so I just wanted to make a few comments about a couple of the topics. First of all, Uganda. A couple questions about that.
All right.
First, why are we giving Uganda aid money? I mean, what do they do? What do they do for us?
I mean, we
Are
do
they
that.
an ally?
We give them we give a lot of countries aid. So I'm not really sure why we give countries aid. What's the particular reason? But we do that with a lot of different countries. I think we give every country in the world aid.
Yeah, we do, and it's crazy. It's ridiculous when there's like so much in our own country, like with the homeless, and yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And then secondly, about that, I mean, why is it our business? You know, I mean, if that, you know, that's their, like you were saying earlier in your video you posted originally about this, you know, that's their culture. You know, if they don't want homosexuality, then how is that our business?
Hey, that's a good question.
You know, same with every country in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, you know, Iraq, Pakistan. I mean, yeah, I mean, you that stuff doesn't fly over there in that part of the world. So, we shouldn't. That, I don't know what's his name. I can't even think of his name right now. The guy that's been doing the press secretaries, Kirby. Yeah, Kirby. It's like, yeah, they're going to do what they want to do. I mean, it's their right.
That's right.
But anyway, and then second, the 3-year-long cruise.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is a disaster waiting to happen. I think they need to put a camera crew on there and film it.
I agree.
And make a real, yeah, that's a reality show I would actually watch. Yeah, I would watch that.
Oh yeah, I can't. That'd be must see TV because you're talking about 1,000 people, 3 years, and they're not going to be from the same place. It'd be from all over the world. They're talking about they're going to go to different continents. They're going to go to. It'll take off from Turkey. Then they're going to go to, I think, somewhere else in Europe, then to the U.S. to pick up passengers. It's going to be a mess.
Oh yeah, and I would love to watch it. Honestly, I really would.
Right.
And then lastly, John Fetterman. Who are they trying to kid with that picture? The dude's either dead or in a coma or just a vegetable. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Right, yeah.
And when's the last time we actually saw him speak live in person?
It's been a minute. I mean, I've not seen him since the election. I've not seen him since. Like right when that election, as soon as the election was over, they pretty much put him away. It's like, okay, thank you for your service. Now go over here. We're not going to see you anymore. We're going to let you just sit on ice for a while and Walter Reed or wherever they have him at. And then they're going to announce that he can't go on anymore. The stroke done too much damage. But they knew that from the beginning.
Right. And that's why the election in Pennsylvania, it was just so, there was nothing fair about it at all. It was all messed up. You know, Dr. Oz should have won, in my opinion. I would have voted for him, honestly.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just wanted to comment on those few things there. So I'll let you go, man. Love you, dude. Love everyone in the chat and the callers. And have a good night, buddy.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, later, dude.
All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. We'll get some more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description box, and it's also in the ticker below me at a certain point. Not right there when it switched, but it will be there pretty soon for you. Let me get to some more here. 440, you're not lying. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, nothing much. Yeah, I can hear you. So a few things. Let me start with this inflation thing. You know, like back in the Bush days, I think they tried to make it easier for people to get student loans, and then the colleges saw that they had a lot of money, so they raised tuition. And when the colleges were full, they came up with these bogus colleges like women's studies and these worthless degrees. And I saw like a YouTube video where a lady was conned into taking $90,000 in student loan so she can get into drama because she was promised that she would be on Broadway and make the money back in no time. And she was waiting tables with a drama degree, and she was duped into taking student loans. This is what happens. So definitely we should make it harder for people to get money. So that was just one of the ideas. And the other one is going to this alphabet soup group. For me, the rainbow represents the promise of God to Noah never to destroy the world again, but they hijacked it to this. The rainbow signifies a totally different thing. And it's sad that they just hijacked this thing into this, whatever this is supposed to be.
Yeah, a whole mess.
Yep, that's true. And by the way, the word gay actually means happy. They hijacked this one too. So the word gay does not mean homosexual. It just means happy. But again, hijacking. So that's all I had to say. Thanks, and keep up the good work.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Let's go. 504 on line. Who am I speaking to? All right, it's messing up. I think that's my Skype messing up. I'm going to try to answer another call, and if it doesn't work, I know it's my Skype. I got to restart. 860, line. Okay, that's my Skype. Y'all give me a second, because Skype wants to act up. See, I'll be telling y'all about this. The bane of my existence, Skype is, I promise you. Let's restart right quick. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'm not restarting my whole computer, just restarting Skype so that can work properly. All right. And let's try this one more time. 604 in line, I'm speaking to.
Anthony, Kelly here.
All righty, what's going on?
I'm just calling from Canada, and I'm just wanted to say a few things about your observations in Uganda and things like that. And I believe it's like down to the swing voters. Everybody believes we have a right and a left, or one side and another side, and they need a middle side to swing votes with. And this is in Canada. I see this a lot here, and our left side has just conquered the middle, so they just sort of conquer everything as it is. I just want to know what your thoughts are on that.
So I'm not quite sure what you were, because you started with Uganda, then you're talking about Canada, so I'm not really sure what your question was.
Oh yeah, question or the observation is the LGBTQ plus sort of things, and that's what the left and the right are using as their swing hammer, so to speak. They need them to use their conquer the other side with votes. I'm just trying to say. Okay, any thoughts on that?
Oh, okay. I think the LGBT thing is being used as a voting issue, and not necessarily trying to target them as a swing group. I don't think. I think it's just more about an issue, because a lot of people who aren't even gay still align themselves with LGBT issues. A lot of the left, they think that that's like the new civil rights movement. So it's another issue. It's just like abortion. It's just like the border, things like that. It's just yet another voting issue. It's not necessarily to create a group that's they're not really trying to cater to a swing group by catering to that, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does a bit, but I'm a bit more closer to the ground here, and what I see is that they need they need fortification. The left or the right, or the one side or the other side, they need help from someone, and that help from someone is in the middle. And in the middle, they sort of target these groups like the LGBTQ plus, or the homeless advocates, or anyone like that. They just need a lot of help from the middle to help them out to win or conquer their arguments with. I'm just observing this from local newspapers and whatnot.
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense.
Okay. Well, anyway, thanks for getting through to you. Yeah, God bless you. I love hearing from you. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Hey, cheers.
All right, shout out to the caller. All right. I was trying to answer my man. Let's continue here. All right. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
So how you doing, my fellow person that produced sperm?
Is that what we call it now?
Yeah, that's what we call it now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen what happened to Anna Kasparian?
Oh, yeah, I saw that. So for the people that don't know in the audience, Anna Kasparian, she's on the Young Turks. And randomly, she was on Twitter saying, hey, don't call me a birthing person or whatever kind of random term. I am a woman. I was like, uh-oh, that's going to be a problem, because the Young Turks, they're super leftist. And she said something like that. That's going to be against the narrative that they want to push over there.
Exactly. What Anna Kasparian is pointing out is that there is an intrinsic value of the human body. The human body is supposed to show you what you're supposed to be. The LGBT it wants to ignore biology and just only put their value on how they're feeling. That shows that they don't like the human body at all.
Right. Nah.
Yeah. They don't like the human body. And you remember how the transgender, all they say that they just want to be called a man and a woman. Now they're going even further, and they are taking away man and woman from the people who are actually male and female, and just calling them a birthing person or an egg producing person or a person that produces sperm.
That's totally crazy. I'm waiting. I'm going to await the day when I'm somewhere and then somebody says, "Hey, you sperm producing person." It's like, look, how about this? How about you say man? How about that? Or just say Anthony, just my name. But male, I'm a man. I'm a he. I don't get into the mentally ill stuff. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People don't want to talk about. There is a mental disorder that's going around. Just because they don't want to hurt people's feelings, they want to give in on that mental disorder, which they need some serious help.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, uh, man, Uganda. But I bet the people in America in Western society, they're thinking now, you know what? Western society and US, they're not that bad after all. I mean, they how they are so upset of what Uganda is doing. At the same time, they they are they're thinking that true, maybe it was a good idea to colonize those people.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but you know what's also funny too? How their racism is actually showing because they talk about how we we colonized the Africans, we oppressed them, and we should not enforce our beliefs on them. Yet though, you want to enforce your beliefs on Uganda by putting sanctions on them, but you want to do the same thing to the Middle Eastern countries.
Mm.
That's so messed up. Now, I could agree with them that what Uganda is doing is objectively wrong. Yet, though, they put themselves in this predicament because they're the ones that keep shouting out that we should not enforce their beliefs. Oh, these beliefs are religious. We need to not base our beliefs on religion. Yet though you are doing the things that you are talking against by trying to enforce your beliefs on Uganda.
That's right.
Yeah. Uh, anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Great call from my man Victor. And when we were talking, I was reminded of this classic meme. Hold on, let me put it up right quick.
What's your pronouns?
I'm a male. I'm a man. I'm a he. I don't get into that mentally ill stuff.
Okay. Would you ever sleep with a black girl?
No.
No, we don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into that part. We don't want to get into that part. No.
What's your pronouns?
I'm a male. I'm a man. I'm a he. I don't get into that mentally ill stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out to my man. Shout out to my man for that one. All right, but the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. This show is family friendly. We won't talk about all the extra stuff. We talk about I'm a male, I'm a man, I'm a he. Keep it right there. All right. All right, Danny from UK. Can you hear me, boss?
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Oh, hi, ABL. It's Danny from the UK. How's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Yeah, we need to find this white man who's screwing up Skype, man.
For real, man. We got to find him and hold him accountable. We're like, sir, I need you to stop messing stuff up.
Is he a white Jewish man? I'm asking for a friend, and his name's Kanye West. Yes, can we talk about Kanye West? Is it time for that or?
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
Yeah, look, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a big fan of Ye. I'm still a fan, even after everything that's happened. And you know, I've watched a lot of his interviews. I've watched a lot of his podcasts. And personally, I don't think he's said anything anti-Semitic or offensive or anything like that. I mean, his latest Drink Champs interview that he did, if you just watch it in its entirety, I mean, you can clearly understand what he's saying, what he's talking about. He's not being anti-Semitic. There was even a bit in it where he said that he's jealous of the Jewish community.
Yep.
Like he's envious of them. He's envious of how they do business with each other, how they lift each other up, how they don't kill each other. You know, he's talking about the problems in the black, you know, in the black culture, in the black communities. I don't know how people get so twisted. I mean, am I the only one who's seeing this, or?
No, you're right. You're definitely right about that. But people see they see what they want to see. You know?
Yeah, I mean, like I understand, like he can go a bit, you know, it can be a bit much sometimes with his wording. Like I get that, you know. I don't know if he does have bipolar, if it's true or not, or I don't know. But personally, I like the guy. I've listened to all of his albums, even in his the latest albums that he's done, the Saint Pablo album, Jesus is King album. Like he's sort of he's saying a lot of what, like, you know, what people like in his interviews and his podcasts, he says a lot what he thinks in his music as well. And if you follow him closely, I think, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize what he's actually saying. And I do think that maybe he said a few of those things about Jewish community to possibly maybe get out of the Adidas contract. I don't know if that's what's your thoughts on that, to actually like get them to cancel him off the contract so he saves money or something. I don't know. I'm
not quite sure that was the plan. I don't know about that one. I mean, I think it might have worked out for him in his favor if that's what he wanted to do, but I don't think that was necessarily the plan from the beginning. I think he was just talking, and then he realized what he could do afterward.
Yeah, maybe it was afterwards. He just thought, yeah, I could use this to my advantage, get out of the contract with Adidas, and I don't know, yeah. But again, you know, I think, you know, with the Alex Jones podcast, personally, I think he was trolling. I think that's why he went on there with a mask, and you can sort of hear him laughing like underneath the mask when he was saying these things. I mean, that's just my personal thoughts. I think he was trolling that part. And I also think he was trolling with the latest tweet about Jonah Hill. I don't think he's serious about that. I mean, of all the people to change his mind on the Jewish community, he talks about Jonah Hill. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that was pretty random.
Yeah, I don't buy it. And as for the Trump topic, I mean, I actually thought this was the thing that was going to take him down, you know. I mean, so that was what, a week, and then it died, pretty much, right?
Like everything else, you know, it'd be stuff that happens, and they say, "Oh, this is going to get him. This would be the last straw," and then nothing never happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've lost count now. But how many impeachments was there? There was like 3 or 4, right?
It was 2. It was a bunch of actual threats for impeachment, but only 2 impeachments actually went through, and then they both failed, of course.
Okay. I mean, when are they going to realize that? Like, what's that saying? When you come at the king, come correct, right?
That's right.
When are they going to realize that? If you're going to go at him, like, come correct. I mean, how many chances do you need to get at someone? I mean, when will they learn? But again, they keep shooting themselves in the foot, and hopefully, that when it comes to next election, all of this will go against them, and people wake up and vote that man back in. I mean, like, I'm a big fan of DeSantis as well. Like, I like him. I like what he, you know, I don't see a problem with him. But either of those guys would be great, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I don't want to take up again too much of the time. Great show again. Appreciate everything you do. Yeah, take care, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care. Bye.
Great call. Shout out to all the callers. Thank you guys for being here. I got time for a couple more calls, I suppose. Let's go to, all right, 860, you don't lie, who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's F&A Ranger Xbox, buddy. How you doing, brother?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
I want to talk about the Uganda thing for a minute. And I got a funny story from work. We were waiting for an inspector, and our inspector was from Cameroon. And yes, one day at Walmart, I bought him the Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd because when he was on the train, he was from, well, I am from Cameroon. And he looked at me and says, buddy, why did you buy this for me? I only watched football. So we're sitting around in like computer chairs waiting for our inspector to come by to inspect our work. And he's our inspector, but he's got headphones on. He's listening to music, so he's shaking his booty, right? And he inadvertently backs up into one of my coworkers' face. And this guy's a super liberal up here in New England. But he's got a sense of humor, so he pulls out a dollar bill. And when our inspector turns around and looks at him, he goes, buddy, what is this? And he goes, it's for my lap dance. And he gives him a look. And super liberal goes, don't you have homosexuals in Cameroon? He looks at him and says, we have them, but we kill them. And he should have seen the look on super liberal's face.
Oh, yeah.
I said, welcome to
I
the
saw
world.
a ghost.
Had to share that one with you. I died laughing at that. But I'm with you. I mean, they're probably looking at what's going on here in America with the push for child molestation all over the country and pedophilia and everything. And I don't blame them. I'm not down for it either. And, they have a right to their laws and beliefs as they see fit, same as we do here. What any adult wants to do, that's on the adults. But nobody has the right to mess up somebody else's childhood, period. That's all I got to say about that, brother. And I'm going to leave you with this slogan that I sent you in the super chat. Be more than a color. Be American. God bless, ABL. You have a good night, brother.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Take care. You too. Bye.
All right. Shout out to one man for the call. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. All righty. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 773 on the line. I'm speaker to.
ABL, thanks for getting to my call. It's your retired Chicago police officer friend. I'm so happy to talk to the Nigerian prince himself.
My brother.
I just wanted to touch on a quick point that you were talking about earlier, which is gun control. And I think you were right on the money. They want to disarm everybody. That's what they would like to do. They might use, AR-15s or this or that to use it, but they want to disarm everyone. But here's my thing about that. Here's a statistic that you're not going to find anywhere. And I don't even have the statistic. How many law-abiding, gun-owning citizens have used their gun in a criminal manner? Not many. Not many. Most law-abiding citizens that have used their weapon have used it for self-defense. Have there been accidents with guns? Yes, there have. But most guns are used by criminals that there are laws against them having guns in the first place. So my thing is, let's penalize the criminal. Let's punish the criminal. Because here's the thing, ABL. When somebody is drinking drunk and the drunk driver kills somebody, we don't have crowds of people calling to ban the car. We punish the criminal. There's drunk drivers all the time, but nobody says, oh, we got to get rid of cars because look at these drunk drivers. They're killing people. And it's the same thing with weapons. Most people have weapons in their home. They're there for self-defense. Thank God it's never used for self-defense, but in those times they'd have to use it. It's there for them to use. And that's the bottom line. Let's start punishing the criminal and not taking away the item itself, because nobody's banning cars because there's drunks. And one other thing, ABL, is that, as a police officer, I've seen it all the time where people left and right are caught with guns and they're back out on the street before the end of my watch. And it's just, it's just ridiculous what's happening. And we can't let them get away with it, because once you give them a little, they take a mile. Once you give them something, next thing you know, your kid is sitting on a drag queen's lap for story time. So, we need to put this to arrest and start using the laws that are already on the books to punish the criminals that are out there. That's my 2 cents, ABL. Great show tonight, and I'm glad you got me in. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, fantastic call. Great way to wrap the show on up. That will be a wrap for me. Thank y'all for being here yet again. As always, you guys know you're the best audience anywhere on these internets. I'll be back live again on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's right around right now, which is 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listening to a podcast right now, if you didn't know, this will be available for free on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And if you're over there right now listening to me, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate it. I got a couple super chats here. I'll read those right quick. Then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Thank y'all for joining tonight. Thank you to all the mods for keeping the trolls nice in check and the chat flowing nice and smooth. Thank you to everybody that's been watching, super chatting, retweeting, whatever you're doing. Thank you. I could not do the show without you. All righty. Thank you to Joe Mello, who says, hey, ABL, keep up the good work, sir, and God bless. Thank you to Jagalarili. If I told your name well, I'm sorry, boss. Jagalarili says, have been a viewer for years and the caller a couple times. Love the content and your bow on top. Trump for the win. Thank you for that, sir. Definitely appreciate you, boss. And thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, be more than the color, be American. Right on, my good brother. But that will be a wrap for me tonight. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.